Hey everybody. Hey Fragrance World. Hey Fragrance people. What's going on? What is happening? Actually, I got myself a webcam, and this is the first time I have ever done a live on this webcam. Like officially. So I hope that it actually looks pretty good. I think it looks all right. That's not bad. Hey, people popping in. How's it going? Sorry getting on here a little bit late. I was actually trying to set things up. I didn't really set up my microphone for the audio. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Josan and Anthony? I'm not outdoors. I know that some people like to see the nature and all, but when I do lives on Saturdays, I think I'm going to stick to here if that looks all right. Maybe I'll get myself some wallpaper. I haven't really messed with a green screen. Maybe I can change the look up, behind me. Hey there, Josan. Okay, you can hear me. That's good. That's good. Hopefully the audio's all right. I don't know if it's coming through. I don't think it's coming through my microphone. I haven't set that up yet, but how's it going? Did y'all have a good week? How have things been smelling? How have things been going this week? Hope that everybody's been doing all right. Let me pull up, the wonderful Fragrantica. Of course, we'll talk about some fragrance news, some new fragrances, and how's everybody's week's been going. I have some unboxings to get done on Instagram. I just got 5 o'clock Jajambre in by Serge Lutens and Stronger With You Intensely. And Stronger With You Intensely is going to be a complete blind buy. And I've never smelled it before, but I decided to buy it and go ahead anyways. So I hope that y'all like that. So anyways, how's everybody been doing? How's everybody's week gone? Did everybody have a beautiful weekend so far? I'm happy that I was able to get this set up with this webcam. Again, it takes some learning to get all this done. Okay, Josan, your scent of the day is Molinard Figuier. How's that working for you? Heard really good things about the House of Molinard. I've heard really, really good things about their Patchouli Vanilla or Vanille. Almost blind bought it a couple times. I probably should have, but I haven't done it yet. So would you recommend them for the price? You used to be able to see them hover around the $50 range. Now you see them 50 to 70. They look like good. I've heard really good things. Anthony, good to see you. Concepcion, scent of the night is 212 VIP Wild Party discontinued fragrance, must try. I think I did try the VIP, the regular one, but I don't, or maybe the Wild, but I don't think I ever tried the Wild Party edition. I don't. That's one of those lines that I don't know how popular it was, but there was actually quite a few flankers. So. Yeah, I hope that that's working all right for you. Is that the one that has that crazy, illicit substance? That's yeah. Molinard Figuier of amazing green scent. I'll have to check it out. I do like a good fig. My favorite fig so far probably is 10 a.m. Flirt by Kieran NYC. Even though the gardenia kind of overpowers the fig, it's still good. Not good longevity though on the Molinard. Yeah, it's. For fresh floral fragrances, a lot of people want really great performance. There's a few of them out there that are able to do it. There's Sicily by Monsara. My Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Swimming Lipari performs pretty darn good on my skin for a fresher fragrance. But yeah, there's not a lot of them that get you to that 8 hour plus range. Wish that they did. But yeah. How's everybody doing though? I'm happy that this webcam worked out so well. And I actually tried to set it up on a camera stand, but when I did that, it was at a distance, so it looked really weird. Like I was looking at a screen and I wasn't interacting with any of you. Hopefully, this is I'll be able to adjust the settings in the future, make it look even better. I'm actually trying to do some streaming here in the future. I'm not quitting fragrance. Everybody seems to wonder about that, but. I'm not doing lives as often on Instagram. I was doing a live every single day on Instagram in the morning talking about fragrances. And now I'm slowing that down. I'm just going to do like a quick sense of the day in my post. If y'all don't know, I've been putting out 2 or 3 posts every single day on Instagram, if y'all want to know. Everybody's popping in, though. Judd the Stud in the house. Good to see you. Once again, good to see Anthony, Joe, and everybody who's popping in and has been saying hello. Judd says, my man, yeah, Benjamin, I'm here. I'm in the house. Hopefully you like what you're seeing. It looks to me on my screen, it looks like pretty good graphics. I actually have a light that I haven't set up for this setup yet. And I know that people like the outdoors. My recordings, my reviews are still going to be outdoors unless I really have to do a recording like this. But in the future, maybe because I can do something with a green screen effect or maybe I'll get like a rug and I'll be all Persian and have like a fancy rug behind me. I don't know if y'all like that. So I'd have like incense going to every video. That'd be funny. I bailed to come see you, bro. Oh, did you leave the party? You bailed? Judd, hopefully you didn't leave anything too important. Hopefully you didn't leave the party or anything. Dogman in the house. Good to see you. Attendance noted. I appreciate you stopping by, Dogman. John Castro in the house. Judd says, Oud Cafe. Oud Cafe is nice. Even though I never buy it, I still love you. Yeah, Oud Cafe. Oh, that's the Monsar, right? If you're thinking about that Monsar, it was pretty good. I do respect the fragrance. If I would have smelled that fragrance earlier on, I probably would have been in love with it. I've just smelled way too many strong tobacco fragrances and other bold, rugged tobaccos I kind of prefer over it. But Monsara Oud Cafe is still a darn good fragrance. I mean, if you like things like Dolce & Gabbana, the one, it's not the same. But if you like things like that and you wanted extra performance, it might be something that you like. So yeah, Oud Cafe is pretty darn good. It's a good one. Do you care about seasonality and weather at all, John? Do you limit yourself? I don't really limit myself too much, but I do try to think about what will work in the high heat. If I know I'm going to be outside, like if I'm going to go to the beach or the pool party or be barbecuing outside out there in the sun, I do think about, maybe in the high heat, 90 degrees plus, not wearing a gourmand, but you can get away with anything. Never limit yourself. Some people sometimes have seemed to think that I would suggest that if you want to wear it, wear it. But you might have a consequence if you wear a really strong oud, of course, or something. But 6 people are here. I appreciate you. How's it going? Six people popping in here. That's wonderful. Nice. I want to get Para 3 Blurple. What fragrance is that? I'm not sure what you meant by that, John. Judd the Stud says, hey, I know both will appreciate this. I just copped a Spider Codelica. Hey, my friend, how's it been going? This is a fragrance channel, and I don't even know if this is appropriate YouTube-wise. Who knows what this will do to my channel? But this originally came with a black finish. I actually was kind of almost trying to get a V edge from the spine straight to the edge. And I spent like about an hour today, and it's wicked sharp. I got this. Can y'all hear that? Did y'all see that? I don't know if you could see this on this camera, but I just shaved a bunch of hairs. I got myself a nice sharpening stone. I put it on the 8000. It's pretty wicked now. So we won't talk too much about knives, but I'm an outdoorsman. I'm a woodsman. I like that stuff. So anyways, hopefully y'all heard that crackle, that little cutting noise. I got it sharp. I got it wicked. One time, this is a fragrance channel, but we're joking around. We're having some fun. This is like Saturday night, Sunday night live, just taking it easy. And I guess his friends and his family, and I guess he never sharpened his knives. And I handed it to him. He started cutting, and he cut straight through the piece of paper, whatever it was, I forget. And he almost cut himself, and he was scared of it and he said, Ben, you got to warn somebody when you hand them a knife like that. Well, I'm like, I don't carry around dull knives. I guess you know now. I don't play with dull knives. I keep them wicked. That smile about getting. Yeah, you know it. I keep them sharp. I'm proud of that. And then, it's a skill. It takes a labor of love. This is a fragrance channel. Hopefully I'm not scaring anybody away. We can talk about our hobbies and anything and everything. I try to stay away from the drama. But if you do want, I need to make a knife channel. I really do. But one of the things I did, I wasted so much time sharpening knives. You got to start out with a coarser grit. You got to get a stone, and everybody wants to think about the Japanese water stones these days, which they do cut fast for what they do. But you got to start out with a coarser stone, especially if you're wanting to put a regrind like I do. I like to put Scandies on everything. I'm scaring people away. We just had 2 or 3 people pop away. Anyways, there's different grinds with knives. There's different steel. There's a primary and a secondary bevel. And I know it's way too much to probably talk about, but I love it. There's a lot to learn. There is. Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements Atomic Age Rum. Bay. I need to try that one. I do like Bay rum fragrances. So dull knives cut you faster. Absolutely. When you're struggling against something and you're trying to bear through it and push through something, it'll slip, and that's when people usually hurt themselves. I mean, somebody could be clumsy. People when you cut on a cutting board like a chef, you always keep your fingers like that. So if you ever did go for your fingers, you'd catch your fingernail. I think people know better to do that, but yeah, you're right. Absolutely right. Dull knives usually are the dangerous ones. People who are inexperienced with knives will be afraid of a sharp knife just because they don't know how to use them very often. Anyways, it's one of my hobbies. I have a couple passions out there, and knives are certainly one of them. So let's see here. A masked man. Who's the masked man? Who are you talking about? Are you talking about those? What are those three fragrances called? They're all based off ambergris. I don't remember right now what they're called. For some reason, I'm not remembering. My guy John. Yes, Masked Man reviews. Good. Masked Man. I don't know who the Masked Man is. Who this mysterious figure is? Who knows? Maybe he's a fragrance reviewer. I don't know. There's people out there having fun. Abraham says, Ben, what's going on, brother? I'm doing pretty good. Again, I'm sorry if I scared anybody away, but we can talk about anything. But this is a fragrance channel, so we'll talk about fragrances. I haven't been buying too much, but again, I do have that Serge Lutens 5 o'clock Gingembre. That's been one I've wanted for a really long time. I haven't bought it in the past because I don't think it lasts as long as it should. It's about a 6.5, maybe 7 hours if you spray it up a lot on clothes. But it doesn't, for how much it costs, especially with Serge Lutens recently bumping up their prices. And most people think that Serge Lutens is really affordable because in the past they were liquidating stock and there was a bunch of extra fragrances available out there for really cheap prices, just like Les Artisans used to be the deal. If you wanted a deal, you want a steal of a deal, Les Artisans or Serge Lutens at one point was the thing, and you get amazing quality for the money. The supply's kind of dried up, times are getting tough, and Serge has just bumped up their prices. There's a couple brands that have actually started doing that. And again, if y'all don't know, Bulgari's done it. I think Armani was already there, but a lot of designer fragrances are going to start being around that $100 range or even more. And some brands were already kind of doing that. Dior Sauvage, y'all know that. The Armanis, some of the Bulgaris now, they're $100 plus for designer fragrances. So that might be kind of scary to some people. Let me pop in here. Masked Man is Sergio Silva. Is it true? The man, the legend. Judd the Stud says, AKA. Oh, it is. Robes 08. Robes 08's legit. I don't know. You don't have to hide your face in here, Robes 08, if that's you. I respect you, man. I respect Robes 08. He's the man. He's a legend. I'm sure that y'all know. Actually, it's funny to see in the past. I haven't seen too many people make comments recently, but in the past, I've seen some people ask, like, who's Robes 08? Why do people talk about this guy? And maybe they don't know any better. These new people popping into the fragrance community, they just don't know about Robes 08. So, hey, Judd, yeah, everybody's here. Good to see you. Doing well. Life is good. Enjoying the live stream. Yeah, we're just kicking it. We're just having some fun. That's a wonderful thing. Oh, Judd says lol. Oh, yeah. Everybody's laughing. So, okay. So, are y'all ready to talk about some new releases? Are y'all excited for that? Let me pull up Fragrantica here. We'll talk about some fragrance news and all that. And again, I'm sorry if I scared people away with a little bit of knife talk. I'll make a channel all about that. I love the woods. I actually spent an awful lot of time collecting a bunch of fat wood, which is essentially a pine tree. When it dies, all the sap goes to the bottom. It's actually very flammable. And if you're an outdoorsman trying to survive, it's actually a very good resource to have, especially if you live in a very humid environment like I do. It's very wet, and it's very hard to light a fire. So anyways, a lot of city people watch, or just people who have never been camping watch my channel, and you might not know about what's going on. So anyways, a Masked Man, you ought to check out Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements. I've heard very good things about them. I have not bought any of those Phoenix fragrances yet. And again, I don't have anything against the price because I know about how expensive these ingredients can get, especially with how crazy the world is right now. I don't know if the prices are going to stick around for very long, but the prices on things that were already kind of high, like benzoin is sky high as like a fragrance ingredient or an incense. and it's a beautiful note, and a lot of people don't know how much they like it. And some fragrances, what was that fragrance by Yves Saint Laurent? It was called like Cabanel or Cabell or Canal. Anyways, and there's a couple of the gourmand Guerlains, the high end ones that use a lot of benzoin. So it's a really nice note ingredient. I'm still listening. Ben, washing the dishes, getting them squeaky clean. I appreciate that. Do you watch? We're kicking it. We're having a good time on the Fragrance channel. I actually want to. I'm curious. Do you do this? I'm one of the people who actually washes my fragrance washes the dishes by hand in the sink, and then I put them in the dishwasher. To me, I'm a funny guy. I think doing dishes with the machine or with the actual dishwasher is for sanitization. I can clean dishes all day, and they're perfectly fine to eat off of. Washing by hand. A lot of people in Europe and the rest of the world don't really use dishwashers. For some reason, with the USA, we really have to, use the dishwashers. And some people don't pre-wash their dishes. If I use a dishwasher, I scrub them beforehand. I don't like putting in dirty dishes that are covered with junk inside a dishwasher. So, anyways, Judd the Stud says, I'd watch the Out of the Outdoors Knife channel. Yeah, there's some good guys out there, but I'm in own, but I have access, and I have quite a decent collection. And I've actually bought some Finch knives from a company called Lamnia. I'm going to try to put handles on them. But some of them are this steel called 80 CR. I think it's 80 CR V2 or 80 V2, something like that. And I watched somebody do a destruction test. It was actually one of the hardest, if not the hardest, steel to break. It's really tough. It's an amazing steel. We won't talk about metallurgy. This is a fragrance channel. We won't scare too many people away. There's 9 people here. Hello, people popping in. Welcome to my fragrance channel. I'm a fragrance enthusiast. If you haven't seen me in a while, and if you don't know what's going on, I have a webcam set up, and I'm going to try to start doing my lives like this. Hopefully, you like it. I kind of like how it's turning out. I think the quality is really good. Hopefully, the audio is good quality too. Anyways. Let's see here. I would watch. Okay, I read that. Do it every night. I don't know if I can do that. Oh, dishwasher. Do it every night. I almost thought you were asking about doing a live every night. It's like, I don't know if I can do that. Maybe people are watching enough. Maybe. Masked Med Reviews. Good to see you. Oh, you retracted your message. Okay. So, anyways, have y'all bought any fragrances recently? And if you have, which fragrance was it? And did you love it? Anyways, which fragrance did you buy? I got to know. So we'll talk about the new releases. Let's jump in it here today. And I didn't really think of a topic too much. Maybe we'll figure out a topic we can talk about. But it's mostly about updating my setup with lighting. Again, with my videos, I'm trying to improve things. I think I'm going to start standing up a lot more and having more movement. And then I'm going to maybe start trying to actually edit my videos more. I think I'm still going to do 2 or 3 videos a week. Y'all know I do them Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But I've really been putting a lot of money and effort into trying to improve the lighting in the studio and the setup. So hopefully y'all are enjoying that. It's a lot of love. It's a labor of love, I can tell you that. It's a lot to learn, that's for sure. Okay, so there's the brand new fragrance from Montal. Have y'all seen this one called Crazy in Love? This fragrance here is, let me look at the notes. We see if we can't find the notes. Okay, all they tell us, all we got on our hands is wild rose, violet leaves, saffron, amber, and vanilla bean. Sounds nice, but I don't know if it's going to be more on the feminine side. It kind of looks that way. It's interesting that they got that all-seeing eye, or the evil eye, which is not something bad. It's not the eye of Sauron, like in Lord of the Rings. It's actually, again, some people have told me, I don't know which way to say it, Middle Eastern. Again, in all due respect, it's actually something that's seen as like a protective symbol, not something that's a negative. So it's the same kind of thing going on in Initio's Oud for Greatness. And hopefully there's real oud in this one. I almost I forget if I've done a review of Oud for Greatness, but I almost in a review want to ask how do people from that side of the world feel about it when it has very little or almost no real oud in the fragrance. Nothing against the fragrance. I know a lot of people really like it, but you know, Oud for Greatness, but it doesn't have much to do with oud. Let me catch up with the comments here. I'm done with buying anything new for a while, enjoying my collection. That's a good way to go. If you have, even if you have 20 fragrances, 20, 30, 40, 50, even if you don't have the biggest collection, again, I have about 70. That is more than enough fragrances than I'll ever need. You don't need to feel like you have to keep up with the Joneses and always buy. Now, sampling, I really can't hold off on sampling. I like to sample. I sample things all the time, and I always want to smell it. But yeah, actually owning the full-size bottle, you might go for the smaller size or save up and buy what you really, really want. That's the good way to go. Sample everything and start becoming more picky. That's why I made my little motto: wear what you love. Start becoming really picky. You might actually find that you want to sell off some of your collection so you can afford the stuff that you really want. It is actually something you might eventually, start to do. I did that a little bit. I still love some cheapies. Don't get me wrong. I love them. And I love, I didn't sell off all my designers to get niche or anything like that. Didn't do that at all. But anyways, let's see here. Keep it. Let's see. Just picked up 9 p.m. by Afnon. Beastly John Paul Gaultier Ultra Mall clone. Well, Schism. That sounds pretty good. I don't know if I'll get that, but I think people do need to hear about that. Afton has made some pretty good stuff, and if that's a really good performing, affordable alternative, maybe people need to know about that. I don't know if you make a channel, Schism, but more the merrier. I think there's more people who need to get in here. And again, not complaining about the views, but I don't know. We got to switch it up because there's certain fragrance reviewers who are getting them all, and there's all the views, and there's people who are popping in, lots of good people. Last week, I'll put another post out. I put a big list of like 10 or 15 people who are new, and a lot of them are really great. And I have a whole nother list of like 20 people who are new fragrance reviewers, and they're cool. They're good people, and hopefully they stick with it. Maybe we can have some new fragrance people in the Fragrant FragCom that stick it through and stick with us because if you don't know, there's so many good people popping in. I don't even probably know all of them, but I try to stay up with it and keep in touch and be friendly to everybody. See here. See, Original Dogman says a Spice Bomb, Infrared, and Azzaro Most Wanted. Luminous Night. Yes, those are some brand new fragrances. I am excited to try the Infrared, which is a new flanker of Spice Bomb. It's supposed to be kind of spicy. I heard that it's a little bit more mass appealing. It's not as spicy as the some other ones, but I do like that Red Rouge vibe. And maybe they snuck in some cherry. Hey, I wouldn't complain about that. Azzaro Most Wanted is definitely one I want to try as well. I think I remember seeing some coffee in that fragrance. I haven't got my nose on it. There's actually been a couple of fragrance reviewers who have already given their first impressions or some quick little reviews of that fragrance. Luminous Night, I don't know. I got the Dolce & Gabbana, what was it? I got the first one, the original. It's killing me. I'm not even remember it right now. I'm gonna have to look it up. Well, so what's it killing me? It's Arabian Night, Dolce & Gabbana. Let's see here. I'm kicking myself. Why can't I remember how to say that? Anyways, sorry about that, guys. I had to try to look it up. I should be entertaining y'all. I should be doing a lot better at this. So I'm going to look it up because I just want to mention it. Anyways, I didn't like it very much. It was like an ambergris. It was like a woody fragrance. It had that bitter incense quality to it. So, anyways, it's one of those fragrances that I wanted forever. Have y'all ever had that happen? There's the one Mysterious Night, which is the one that's a little bit more of a classic rose oud. Some people seem to really like that one. That one's probably sweeter and more mass appealing. The original one is the one Royal Night. That's the one I got. I wanted it for a very long time, and it was like bitter on the incense, and it was really woody, and I didn't like how the ambergris came through. Had a little bit of that Bakor quality, which can work in a fragrance, but it just, I guess its blending didn't work for me. It didn't smell too similar to the original either, which was a negative. I actually like the original Dolce Gabbana, the one, and if they would have just added some oud and some saffron and gave a little bit of incense to it, and maybe made it a stronger concentration, made it perform better, I would have been all over that. But it's you can't win every fragrance. Let's see here. I'll catch up with the comments. Let's see. Dolce Gabbana Light Blue Forever. I think I saw you talking about that original dog, man. You got your hands on that one really fast. I think I remember you and maybe somebody else talking about how that was like a grapefruit bomb. And one guy said he kind of didn't like it. Maybe he doesn't like the grapefruit, or maybe he thought it was synthetic. I don't know. But you said it didn't give you very good performance. So I do want to try it. Some of the Dolce Gabbana light blue flankers are pretty good. I still need to get my hands on Beauty of Capri, but I love my Swimming Lipari, which is a flanker. But you got to like salt, and you got to like ambergris or Broxton. That's for sure. Judd the Stud says, Dogman bought a backup bottle of Dior Eau Sauvage Parfum. I think you're teasing him because he hated that fragrance. And you said I think I saw that you paid a lot of money for that, dog, man. You must have bought the vintage bottle. I don't think the regular versions of that are that expensive. The vintage version has a lot more myrrh. It's kind of, if you're familiar with myrrh, it's kind of like a deep, complex, incensey kind of feeling to it. The newer fragrance has more citrus to it, and it has more rosemary. It really doesn't have much of any of that myrrh. And I think a lot of people say both of them are just as good. I respect the original, but I probably would like the newer version of Eau Sauvage. I doubt that you might give it another chance, especially with a blind buy, a dog, John. But you could. I'd like to see if you like the new version even better. I'm gonna pick anyways. I'm gonna pick 1821 Man-Made. I've heard good things about that one. A nice sweet tobacco, maybe boozy. And Naxos. Naxos by Xerjoff. Y'all know that's a good one. Y'all know that's a banging fragrance. You've heard enough people say it, and you've heard. I think it's great too. I've said great things about it. Naxos, wonderful fragrance. You can't go wrong. Schism says 1821 smells awful. Gifted it to a friend. He hated it too. I've heard good things about it. That's funny. I haven't smelled it yet, so I can't judge it. But I've heard a lot of people say really good things about it. Who knows? I've talked about some fragrances that are really hyped that didn't work great for me. One of them was Insomnia. If y'all have ever watched my review, I was very clear in that review that I was going completely against the grain. There's people who said it had little or no ylang-ylang, and I'm like, this whole entire fragrance is about ylang-ylang. And sometimes you got to be that way. You got to call the shots like it is. And I didn't work for me. But I know that some people out there still like it. So that's Insomnia. I do wish the company well, though. I do want to try their new fragrances if they come out with them. Let's see. Agree. Shista. Oud for Greatness, layering. That would be a fun combo. I've never tried that Masked Man reviews, but would be a fun combo. Got that darkness and some freshness and some smokiness and some oud. That modern mass appealing oud. Schism, thank you. Let's see. Judd, you wish I'd pick up a bottle of that host. Yeah, you didn't like that one very much. I'm interested. Do you like fresher, fresh vetiver fragrances, or did it just have that little bit of that fougere vibe? I'm not sure. Maybe you got a bad bottle. Who knows? Maybe you got an old bottle that was, had went bad. Who knows, dog man? I'm not sure, but I'm interested to see if you've smelled a modern version of it. You paid $190. Yeah, that sounds like a vintage bottle. Hopefully it hadn't gone bad on you. I paid an awful lot of money one time and got a vintage bottle of the original Acqua di Gio. It was sealed. I'm pretty sure it was legit. It would look like it'd never been opened, all that. Really old box, must have been like, 15, 20 years old, something like that. And it had pretty much gone bad. It kind of smelled like vinegar. And it was sad, but that's how it went down. And I gave it away to somebody. They didn't tell me if they liked it or not. Maybe they didn't even like it. I didn't want to ask for a refund because I'm pretty sure it was authentic. I'm pretty sure it was real. And I didn't want to be that guy to be like, hey, I didn't like how it smelled. And I opened your rare, expensive fragrance and I want a full refund. I didn't want to do that to anybody. So, anyways, let's catch up here. Beauty of Capri comes across as a non-ozonic Soin La Paris. So it kind of smells like Soin La Paris, but less ozonic, so less salty, less like the ocean. I might have to give it a try. I do like that ocean vibe. To me, that was a big improvement. So I don't know how I feel about the Beauty of Capri, but I might have to give it a go. Anthony says, I just got a backup bottle of Guerlain L'Homme Ideal Cologne. That's a nice one. I've heard that it's discontinued. It still seems fairly available on the market, but I have heard it's discontinued. Don't know how true that is, but it looks like they are switching over to the Ideal Cool. I think y'all know that. Y'all have probably heard that a time or two. But yeah, it seems like the Fragcom really likes it, and it is a nice fragrance. I have smelled it. It's a little bit linear. It doesn't change much, but it's curious. I don't know if it was not selling well, or maybe they didn't market it well. I'd like to see why some of these companies made the decisions that they did. It got everybody in the fragrance community seems to like it or respect it, but I don't know. They're switching over to that cool, which is a decent fragrance. But anyways, let's see here. I've been revisiting some of the classic fragrances. Masked Man Review says I've been rocking Japur. Japur is still one of the best values out there. If you haven't tried Japur, do. There's an EDT and an EDP version. I probably need to get the EDP. It's a beautiful, incensey, spicy, classic men's fragrance. One of the best values out there for the money. I don't think you'd be disappointed with Japur. PS and Quorum and some other classic gems. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. There's some good ones out there. I kind of like that late 90s vibe. I don't go too deep with the classics, but I do like Anateus and I do like Pour Monsieur. But as far as classic fragrances go, I love wearing my Lalique Pour Homme, and it's not very old either. But there's Versace Pour Homme. So to the modern, to the really modern younger guys these days, those are like mid-aged fragrances for the mid. It's a funny world. I saw there's this duo, these two fragrance reviewers who are kind of young, and they tried to say that the Dolce Gabbana, the original Dolce Gabbana, the one, is no longer relevant. And times change, and it's funny to see different people's opinions. I still feel like Dolce Gabbana, the one, is very relevant and still a great fragrance. But anyways, Edges, what's Soin La Paris? Have you tried that one? I love Soin La Paris. It's very salty. It smells like the ocean. It's one of those kind of cologne heavy fragrances, but it manages not really to give me a headache or anything like that. But it is heavy on that Ambroxan. Doesn't go metallic or strange. And again, I don't like things like Dior Sauvage, but for some reason I like Soin La Paris. So, oh my gosh, Ben, have you smelled the old school Unforgivable by Sean John? Amazing stuff. I've been almost blind bought that fragrance like 5 different times, but I never bought it because I heard everybody from Brooklyn Fragrance Lover, RIP, rest in peace. And people like that say that it didn't give good longevity, and they thought it smelled decent but not amazing. I want to get it. I've been tempted to get it. Maybe I should get it. I might actually like it, but I've heard some people say that it has dismal performance, and I've heard some people say that it will give you decent. I mean, okay performance, but performance isn't the biggest or most important thing maybe in the world. But hey, oh my gosh! But I do. I want to try it. I haven't had the chance yet. It's not like it's sold in malls anymore. I think it's discontinued for all I know, isn't it? I think it is discontinued. Anyways, sometimes complain about Soin La Paris smelling metallic. Yeah, some people with that Ambroxan really pull out those metallic vibes out of fragrances. I actually do like metallic vibes depending on what it is. I'm probably going to save it towards later in the year, but I have Lignum Vitae from the House of Beaufort, London, and it has a really interesting metallic nuance to the fragrance. So if you happen to like metallic notes and you want a really interesting twist on what it can be, definitely try that. We won't talk very long about metallic fragrances, but if you want another interesting one, try out Rosé All Day by Gallagher Fragrances. It has a stainless steel accord, something you do not see in fragrances very often. It's quite interesting. Let's see here. Let's see. But I try wearing it. Yeah, I like wearing it in the heat. Soin La Paris is a fragrance, in my opinion, you want to wear it to the beach, to the pool party, barbecuing out in the sun. sweaty. Yeah, that's where it's going to work well. And certain fragrances, it's funny, kind of act differently depending on the temperature. Of course, you don't have to limit yourself, but they do. They kind of do act differently. So, how's the longevity? It did great on me. I can get 7.5 or maybe even 8 hours or a little bit more. It's a Dolce Gabbana light blue, so it's not going to project like a beast, but it did pretty dark. It did pretty decently. It did what I wanted it to for a fresh fragrance. So I'm not complaining. It's actually one of the best, longest lasting fresh fragrances that I've ever tried. It's one of the best if you want performance, in my opinion, designer wise for a fresh fragrance. It doesn't get much better than that besides Aqua di Gio Essenza. And y'all know that Aqua di Gio Essenza is long gone, my friends. Discontinued. Questions to all the light blue flans. Which is your favorite flanker? Yes, that is a great question. Please do answer because I have been tempted for a very long time to get Beauty of Capri. And I haven't done it yet, but I might have to get that Beauty of Capri. I've been very tempted a time or two. Let's see here. Get the old school Unforgivable, Ben. Usually you can get it for one. So there's a vintage version. Are you saying that has better performance? I might have to look into that. I didn't know that there was a vintage version. Is it too pricey? Is it like around 40 or something? If it's around 40, I might have to snag a bottle. That sounds pretty good. Anyways, Schism says my favorite metallic note and fragrance is Romance Silver by Ralph Lauren. Honestly, I haven't tried that one, but the Romance line was a big hit. It was a thing back in the day. People don't know much about it now, but it was a thing. It was a thing back then. Light blue, Ray Intense for the Sure Mask Man. Is that a flanker? Ray Intense? I haven't tried that one, but looks good. Okay, guys, I see that 9 people are still here. Thank y'all for hanging on with me. We are going to talk about some new releases, and I do appreciate all of your time. Thank y'all for hanging out with me. This is a blast. Let's talk about some of those new releases, and this has been a lot of fun. I feel comfortable over here. I'm happy that the webcam is actually working out, and I'm feeling kind of good about all this. This is good. So let's talk about some new fragrances. There's the new Philippe Plein Parfums No Limit. Again, some fragrance reviewers have been very fast, got their reviews of that. I watched Gent Scent's review, and he joked about the commercial. I actually looked up the commercial. And yeah, it's as bad as he says it is. Guy running around in a helicopter with fire, and women, doing that WAP stuff. And anyways, it was quite ridiculous. But I don't know. Some people say the fragrance isn't too bad. I think the presentation is really corny, something that you could get from almost the dollar store. But hey, maybe the fragrance is still pretty good. I don't know if I want to fork out. I looked it up and it was like $70 odd, like $80. I don't know about that, guys. But maybe one of these days I'll get my nose on a sample of that darn thing. Have y'all seen Jensen's review? It was pretty funny. Yeah, the vintage Unforgivable is awesome. I might have to check out that. Anyways. No new comments. Okay, let's get to the new releases. There's a new Costume Nationale coming out that's called Super Gloss. I don't think people give the house of Costume Nationale much of a chance. I did review, I believe it was Cyber Garden and a couple of their other fragrances back in the day. There were some of them that were really quite nice. There was some of the EDP versions, which I thought had better performance and smelled of higher quality. The nose behind this fragrance is Dominique Ropion. Y'all know all about him. This fragrance has red fruit, orange blossom, lily of the valley. Sounds very clean. It's called Super Gloss, so I'm expecting there to be iris or something waxy. This is lily of the valley. We got rose, benzoin, osmanthus, patchouli, vetiver, and cedar. So no lip gloss, accord, no iris, but I'm sure that it's called Super Gloss. So it must attain some kind of sheen or some kind of sparkle or waxiness somehow with that fragrance. So that Super Gloss looks more feminine, that's for sure, but an amber floral fragrance is the category they're putting it in. So might be worth a try. If you're actually, funny enough, if you haven't tried Costume Nationale Soul and you like things like Gucci Guilty Absolute or Dior Fahrenheit, or even the fantastic Serge Lutens Ombre, I can't even say it right. I think it's I'm gonna kick myself for not remembering. I talk about it all the time. Ombre Sultan. That's it. Ombre Sultan. Didn't have to look it up. Mine actually wanted the work. Ombre Sultan's fantastic. And Costume National Soul is also pretty darn good. Do give it a chance if you like those rugged, rough and tumble fragrances. So let's catch up. Let's see if there's any new fragrances. I haven't explored the Burdin collection. They look nice. Haven't really explored those yet. There's the Laboratorio Olfactivo. Haven't really explored those too much, but I guess maybe they wanted to put out some fragrances for the summer and capitalize on those fresh fragrances. And they have a new one called Limon and Bergamotto for your fresh citrus needs. Those might be pretty good. Let's see. Let me catch up. Let me see if there's any new comments. See, Aqua di Gio has a new one also. Yes, that's the Knights or the Lights, the flanker. I think it's called the Profundo Lights, something to that effect. I'll try to get my nose on it. As far as I can tell, it's like a fresher version. Some people are saying it's slightly like sheer or slightly powdery or something to that effect, trying to make it have a unique sparkle. But they say the performance isn't as good as the original. The original Profundo is a big compliment getter. It's very mass appealing. Once again, guys, if you want your mass appealing, fresh, clean fragrance, one of the best ones that's really just hit the scene is Profundo by Acqua di Gio. Do give it a try. I know it sounds like just another flanker, but do give it a try, see if it works for you. And I know a lot of the guys and a lot of people out there are looking for those wearable, likable fragrances, and that Acqua di Gio. It's what a lot of people are going to want out there, that's for sure. Fastman Review says Philip is going to do a collab with Jeremy JK. Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know. I don't know how that'd work out. So the next one is Pierre Gualami Paris. Have y'all looked at these ones? There's some new fragrances from them. The brand looks nice, but I haven't tried them, but they have interested me. There's a new fragrance from Avon. You don't see, at least I don't remember seeing too many newer releases from Avon. There's one called 3000 Kilometer as Gamer. I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean. Maybe like a fast-paced gamer. That's a really corny name. And the next one is called 015 Miami Nights. That's really corny too. I'm not sure what the 015 has to do with anything. But anyways, a lot of brands are starting to mention like Crazy and Nights, and I don't know what that's all about. It's funny. Victoria's Secret just put out a bunch of their new releases. I don't think we want to talk about those too much, but I don't know if they're body mist, but they look fresh. I mean, hey, they look decent. Let's see if there's anything else that catches our attention. Those, let's see here. Some more people are starting to talk more about the Le Male Le Parfum. Somebody says it has something to do with chocolate. Chocolate. It didn't have. I smelled it, and I think I reviewed it. At least I talked about it, and it didn't have much of anything to do with chocolate. At least not to my nose. So that's funny. That's funny. There's the new. Oh, that's not new. It's Whittian. For some reason, somebody's talking about the Whittian collection again. The Black collection is a niche. It's a niche line, niche fragrances, but they're actually very mass appealing and attractive. I tried Whittian 3, and it reminded me a little bit of Ultramall. I wasn't really happy with it because I wanted it to be unique. I should have probably went for the gold line, which has more incense, and some people tend to like that line a little bit better. I do really like frankincense, so let's see if there's any new comments. Anybody, anything y'all want to share with me? Say. Avon makes some good affordable fragrances. I really like their black suede line. I'll have to check that out, see if it's any good, see what it's all about. Let's see here. Acqua di Gio Absolute is a really good one and underrated. Is that the one that's a little bit woody? I have Acqua di Gio Absolute Instinct. I have that sample right here. Maybe this is the one that turns woody. I have too many fragrances sprayed up. I tested a lot of zoologists yesterday, and those I can still smell some traces of zoologists, but I'll still spray some here. Yeah, it's fresh and clean and has maybe a little soapiness, and then kind of come off as like a light cedar, maybe kind of fragrance. It's not bad. I think I remember maybe it was the Absolute, or maybe it was the Absolute Instinct. I remember some people saying that was almost more grown up. Maybe like the younger men wasn't. Absolute is woody. Yeah, it's kind of got that it's not heavy on the woods, but it's like a fresh cedar. So It's not bad though. It's not bad, but yeah, woody fragrances don't seem to be extremely popular. For like, I really like tobacco, and I'd like to see tobacco and more fragrances, but not everybody seems to like tobacco or coffee. I think a lot of people would like coffee, but it depends on how much coffee. How much coffee do you want in that fragrance? I'd like a fair amount, maybe more than some people would like, and some people would like very little. So, anyways, some people are talking more about 1 million parfum. I haven't heard. I heard some people when it first came out initially put out some first impressions and some quick reviews, but I haven't seen it hit too many top 10 lists. I haven't seen much hype or about the new 1 million parfum. So y'all let me know. I actually haven't tried that fragrance yet. I do think 1 million is a good DNA from Paco Rabanne, and it does its magic. But I heard the new one is kind of fresh in its own way. It has like solar notes. It's actually like almost, I don't want to say it's a cologne version, but a lot of these niche houses, y'all got to be careful. They're starting to do cologne versions. Maison Fresh's Curtijon has like new cologne versions coming out from of all their popular fragrances. Y'all already know that I'm not Roger Dove. Forgive me. I know y'all keep trying to correct me. Roger Dove already did that. And I think there's a bunch of brands that are starting to do that and to capitalize on already popular fragrances, but make them even fresher, I guess. So let's catch up. Let's see if there's any other fragrances that look exciting. There's a new branch called Hoo-Ha. That's a really corny name, but it's small. It's like a small batch company out of the UK. I don't know. Maybe I'll look into it. There's a new fragrance from Goldfield and Banks called Silky Wood. It's supposed to be some really rich, creamy woods. I don't know when I'll get to sample that. I thought, when Pacific Rock Moss came out, everybody was going crazy for it. I got myself a sample. I thought it was a decent fragrance, but for the price, I wasn't overtly impressed, but it's still not bad. I think that if you're going to go for a niche aquatic, I still think it's maybe I would like something a little bit more unique, but I probably would go for Squid by Zoologist. And I don't find it very daring. I think a lot of people loved it because it's really easy to wear. So let's catch up with the comments, see if there's anything new, anything y'all want to say. Let's see. Does anyone know if the new YSL Le Parfum is better than the YSL EDP and the Eau Fresh? I need to get I've been tempted to buy that Eau Fresh. I like a frosted glass bottle. I love frosted glass, and it's been tempting me, but I haven't bought it. I really haven't seen too many comparison videos. If any of y'all own those fragrances, that'd be a good video to make. Sometimes people do those battle videos. Why not do a battle of all the YSL Ys, and the flankers? That would be a valuable video that would give us a lot of perspective and tell it and help us to be able to compare, those fragrances with one another. And to me, that's the kind of content I look forward to as a content creator. That's the kind of stuff I want to see, and I just don't, you don't see that kind of stuff all the time. Let's see here. Masterman Review says I'll have to try that Y Parfum. Yeah, the regular Y Parfum I know is very popular. It has lots of that amber wood accord, that modern molecule, and so it has like an ambery woody effect, and it's really mass appealing. It's more of almost like a Sauvage fragrance, Dior Sauvage, but lots of people love it, and I'm sure that Dior Sauvage is still more popular, but in the Fragcom, everybody's crazy about that YSL Y Parfum. That's the talk of the town. So. Anyways, Tremaine is in the house. Good to see you, Tremaine. Everybody popping in. Says, I heard the new Pacific Rock Moss was reformulated for better performance. I have not tried it since then. I'd have to give it a try and give it a go and see if it's any different. But I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that because I thought the quality was good, but I wanted it to last longer when I smelled it. But really, my biggest problem wasn't really the longevity. I could get 5 or 6 hours out of it, which it's still kind of weak, but for a fresh citrus fragrance, I mean, citruses really struggle, especially when there's more naturals involved. So I kind of, accepted it. But the thing that I didn't really like was that, it just didn't smell unique for a niche fragrance, and you're paying that much money. What's supposed to be interesting about Pacific Rock Moss is the Pacific Rock Moss, the moss, and it is nice. It did smell kind of like clean and almost like pretty natural. And it was a youthful oak moss, like a mossy quality. It was like a sea moss. and it was actually quite nice. But in the dry down, I wanted a twist or a turn. When I look for a niche fragrance, I want a couple twists and turns. I want a couple of things that intrigue me, and it was just meant to be a really wearable fragrance. And again, I mean, that's a hurdle for me because for when I go for niche fragrances, I want something to be unique. If I want something that's just wearable and likable, there's lots of designer fragrances that are amazing that'll do that, and they'll do a great job of wearability and likability and fresh and all that good stuff. For me personally, if I'm going for niche, I'm not I'm not looking for a fresh aquatic that is kind of nothing is you really unique about it. So anyways, Schism says why parfum is a super bubblegummy fragrance. Seems like all the YSL flankers smell the same. Um, so do you? I don't know. The original one didn't smell too bubblegummy to me. The original to me smelled like a weird watery fragrance with like a candy ginger and like some really weak floral amber or something like that. I remember it smelling like that, and I really didn't like the original Y. So I know that I need to go to a mall and see which one of the the Y flankers I can find, so I can give y'all some more perspective. But I tried the original fragrance, and usually things. So a lot of people say that the first version of the fragrance is the best, and the other ones they might be good or what, but you kind of judge all the fragrances based off the original. The original YSLY to me was it was terrible, but I should try the new ones. I've heard good things. So YSL Eau Fresh is a stunning bottle. I do love the bottle, Tremaine. I completely agree. That bottle, it's not super fancy, but there's something about it that draws you in. It's frosted glass. It's got that like icy white quality and that little like radiant, color change with a little bit of the blue. It looks quite nice. I agree. I'd love to have that. So that might be the next one I splurge on here in the future. So, are there any new fragrances that y'all know about that have caught your eye? There's a new brand that it looks like a shot glass. It's a fragrance. It's called the brand is called Hinoid, Hinode. I don't know where these were sold or I don't know if they're a celebrity fragrance or something gimmicky, but they look quite ridiculous. But I still like to try it. It's like upside down, and it looks like a shot glass or some kind. Maybe it's a martini glass. I'm not educated enough about booze, but anyways, there's a new Nina Ricci fragrance that looks like a straight vintage fragrance. It's called L'Air de Temps Parfum. Looks elegant, might be vintage. So, ladies out there, I don't know if that might be something you're into. There's a brand out there called West's Third Brand. There's a new fragrance they have called Untitled Heroes. Their presentation almost reminds me of DS and Durga. I don't know if they're trying to copycat them. There's some brands out there that are kind of doing some funny things. But this brand might be worth trying. The notes don't look like anything terribly special. Olibanum, amber, galbanum, iris, thyme, musk, and leather. But it's another brand to try. It's another one to explore. So, anyways, let's see. Any new fragrances, guys? Anything that has caught your eye recently? I'm not seeing too much this week that is catching my eyes. So y'all have to let me know. We can talk about some fragrances that I really want to buy that are on my buy list. We could do that too. So let's catch up with the comments. Invictus Victory is good. I've been hearing good things about the new Invictus Victory. I hear that the bubble gum is tamed down, and I hear that it has a little bit more of a deeper, sweet, woodier base. Reminds some people of Profumo. I think Armani's Profumo. And also some people are saying it has a root beer quality, which that doesn't sound too bad. I might have to give it some go. Tremaine says, "Ouch, ouch." Actually, smells like it looks. I'm doing good, Tremaine. Thank you for that though. Oh, Fresh is better than the EDP. Oh, you think? Oh, so you go for the Fresh? Well, I already was kind of tempted by it. I might really have to go for it now. Okay, let me catch up with the comments. Y'all put up. I'll throw in some good comments. I need to catch up with them. Philip is doing good. Oh, no, I already read that. See here. Thank y'all for all the comments, though. It's a super. I read that bubble gummy. You're like, okay, the water's so fresh, and then yeah, it's a really nice bottle. Okay, so I just got the Creed Spice and Wood from Joma's shop. I really like that Spice and Wood. That's one of the ones I would like to have in the collection. I just think it's way too expensive for what it is. It's way too expensive. The Creed Spice and Wood, but it's a very fancy fragrance. It's something that could be worn formally, dressed up or dressed down, but would suit the environment for a very well dressed, very wealthy maybe person. It's a very expensive fragrance. As for it is like a Liz Taylor perfume. Returning. Oh, you never liked it. Do you think the Joma shop sold you a fake? Or is that what it was? But I like that Spice and Wood. I think it's one of Creed's best. Was it a Portugal that's still, for the ones that are still produced, Spice and Wood and Was it a Portugal? If they would make Virgin Island water perform better, I would probably throw it in there too. For the vaulted ones I've smelled, it's all about that Green Valley, which to me was way better than Green Irish Tweed. I know that offends some people, but that's how I feel. And Royal Scottish Lavender. Nobody cares about the poor Royal Scottish Lavender. That was a darn good lavender fragrance. For some reason, some people out there really don't like lavender, but I like that Scottish lavender sometimes. It's like airy and sour. It's kind of got this like wispy, airy quality to it. I like that Royal Scottish Lavender. It's sad that it had to go. It's gone. It's long gone. Long gone. So, anyways, actually smells like it looks. That Tremaine says. Okay. Oh yeah. So you say so, kind of like frosted and cold and glassy. That YSL Eau Fresh might be. I might have to get that, Tremaine. You're tempting me. I do like the look and the sound of it. Eau Fresh is okay. Read that. It's a stronger projection. It's better longevity. The Eau Fresh has even better performance, you think, for a fresh fragrance? That's surprising. How's the performance? Invictus. Oh, are you talking about the Invictus? I might be mixing the two things up. The Invictus Victory, you're saying it maybe has better performance than the original Invictus. If that's true, it's a powerhouse because the original Invictus was a very strong fragrance and had the performance. That Invictus Victory might be beast mode then. 16 people are here. Woo, one of our biggest lives we've ever had. Maybe doing this webcam thing was the way to go. I'm happy that you liking what you see. We're talking about fragrances. If you're a fragrance enthusiast, welcome to the Centaur Fragrance Channel. My name is Benjamin. Hello, how you doing? So let's see here. I might pull the trigger for that. Oh yeah, that frosted glass bottle, Tremaine. Ooh, I don't know why I like that frosted glass bottle, but give them to me frosty. I like it. Anyways, as Mahito, is that how you saying there? Mazhino? Shout hurry. Says La Homme Ideal Cologne is a recent purchase for me and a steal at the price you got it for. Yes, get them while you can. Get them while you can. Yes. Original Dogman. John Castro says, man, I just copped an Armani code Profumo and it's good. Yes, that's certainly one of a great designer fragrance and certainly works wonders. That's for sure. Tremaine says, I'm in the minority here. I actually think that Royal Oud is better than Spice and Wood. I don't know. I do think Royal Oud is more popular. I know that it's more popular, but I don't know what the connoisseurs would say. Both are fine. Royal Oud is more comforting. It's Royal Oud is more relaxing, and it's more affordable as well. I think more people probably smelled Royal Oud. I like the Spice and Wood. It's just very fancy, and that's what if I had a bottle, that's what I would wear it for. Fancy occasions where I kind of wanted to also wear a spicy fragrance, but super fancy. John Castro says Moschino has a new bear fragrance. Oh, there we go with the bears again. I don't know how y'all feel about that, but I just can't wear a fragrance that's a teddy bear. I just can't do it. It's a pink bubble. I think I'm smelling. Have you smelled it yet? Is it more for ladies or I don't know what that's about, but yeah, I know that everybody's talking about the original one. They said it was like a black currant and a rose fragrance. That Toy Boy, is that what it was? Toy Boy, I think it was. And I just couldn't get behind it. I didn't even want to blind buy it. So, but Ben Cancillo says yes. Joma Shop sold me a fake Creed. The bottle looks legit. We'll buy a sample of Spice and Wood. Yes, do try the original. It's not for a niche fragrance. It's not terribly unique. It doesn't change a lot. And that's a real negative, but for some reason, I really like the smell. If you like clean, spicy, fancy fragrances, it might be nice. But again, the price is just ridiculous. It should cost half of that. It's like woods and cardamom, and I don't even think they're using any of the really rare, expensive cedar or anything. I don't know how they justify their prices. Y'all know that Creed is gone crazy. We won't get on a Creed hype train or actually a criticized train. Y'all know that I'm kind of the guy who kind of calls out Creed quite a bit, but I'll do it a little bit here. I don't know when I'm going to get a sample or if I'm going to get a sample, but y'all saw that Creed last week. It was actually announced, and I think I saw a fragrance reviewer already talk about it a little bit. But it's the new Creed Viking cologne. They're doing a cologne version, and then maybe they saw based on Francis Curtijan do that. Maybe they saw Roja Dove do that with all their cologne versions. Maybe that's what Creed wants to do to make the money. They're testing the waters. Their anniversary edition was testing the waters for Aventus flankers. I don't know if they got the reception that they wanted. I don't know if we'll see too many Aventus flankers. Maybe we'll see one in the future. Not really sure. But now it looks like they're just going to make cologne versions of the fragrances they already have. It looks like it looks like they might not have any creativity in their bones, and they're not going to take any risk or maybe try to do anything good. So y'all know that Creed's a mess right now. Hopefully people are getting the word out. I know some people out there still love the Aventus cologne. I mean, if you like it, enjoy it, but I just can't talk good about them. I just can't do it. Let's see here. Not fresh is better performance. Oh, it is. So Dogman, the fresher fragrance performs better. That's amazing. Okay, y'all are tempting me. Might be one to have to cut. That comes in my collection. I have a tough time with designer fresh fragrances. I there's a lot of them that are decent and they're good and they're wearable, but they don't do exactly what I want them to. So that might be one that actually does magic for me. Again, Versace Eau Fresh, Bulgari Aquamarine, Dolce Gabbana Light Blue Swimming the Paris. I'm sure that there might be another one tucked in there, but those, as far as aquatics go, designer fragrance wise, Happy Land Blue Fire was also pretty good, but it's not exactly an aquatic. But anyways, there's that kind of thing doesn't do it for me too much. So yeah, Toy Boy and Toy 2 for women smelled awesome. For women's citrus floral, awesome scent. Well, I'll have to give that one a try, see what I think about it. I definitely won't be blind buying that, especially, but I'll have to give it a go. See, they study people's psyche and habits. The juice is pretty good, so that helps. The teddy bear. Yeah, I know lots of people have a fond memory of teddy bears, and it's something that they remember fondly, so they might want to buy it in a fragrance. I mean, but if you're doing that kind of stuff, what's going to be next? I mean, somebody has a fond memory of, like, I don't know, a cat. So I'm sure that somebody's made like a cat fragrance bottle. I think like Katy Perry. I mean, her name's Katie, so you can do cat. So you had some bottles that look like cats. But what are we going to do next? I mean, to me, it's kind of funny. But don't overlook Moschino Toy Boy. It's a superb fragrance. I've heard some people say very good things about it. To me, rose has to be done just right, and also that black currant sweet vibe that that has to be done just right for somebody like me. But maybe I don't know if I want to blind buy it though. But thank you for reminding me. Easy a Monday. You're absolutely right. I definitely need to try it, and so I can give you all some perspective. My thoughts and feelings. So Masked Man Review says, great stream, Ben. Glad I was able to join. Good night. Oh, well, good night, my friend. Thank you for popping in. And tonight's going really well. I do like how this is turning out. And I don't know, this is better than I expected. This webcam is working magic. And I don't know how successful I'm going to be, but I'm actually going to try to do a bit of Twitch streaming. I'm trying to invest in that. And it's something that I've always wanted to do. And there's a lot of things that I've always wanted to do, but I'm going to be playing some kind of obscure video games at first, really obscure. But if you want to message me about that, know what's going on, I mean, I could tell you, but we'll see how that goes. Maybe in the future, you'll be like, Ben, what are you doing? You're a big Twitcher. That'd be really fun. Anyways, scent of the day is Burberry Indigo. Has a nice spearmint note. Check it out sometime. Burberry Indigo. I have tried. I think I might have tried the original Burberry. yeah, the indigo. I've heard some people say the performance was bad, but I've also heard people say that it smells really, really good. It's like that Gucci Guilty. I think it was called Gucci Guilty Black. I've heard some people say the performance wasn't very good, but they said it was a big compliment getter. So I do need to get my nose on some of those. So Tremaine says Nijane Edgy was very underwhelming. Yeah, I feel the same way. The new not what was it called? Was it Nanshi? There was the two new fragrances from Nishane, and it was kind of sad because Nishane has some amazing fragrances, and they just released some more mass appealing fragrances for like this spring and summer season that are better for the hot weather. And some people decide to finally jump on board and try some of Nishane's fragrances, and some people were telling me that they were confused because they tried the new Edge or Idgy and some of the other one, and they're like, "Why do y'all like Nishane so much?" And I tried to tell them that those were kind of underwhelming. They're mass appealing. They're kind of simple. They're not too special. And but some people, I've seen some people that out there that do like them. But Nishane has been known for bold fragrances that have lots of performance and a lot of character to them. And I think that they could have done a better job with making a niche house that's known for strong fragrances that have personality. I think they could have done a better job with some aquatics or fresh fragrances. That's for sure. But I gotta call it like it is. I love the House of Nishane. I think they have some wonderful things. Ombre Calabria, if you're looking for something better for the heat, a Wulong Cha would do you wonders. Everybody knows about Nishane's Ani. I don't know how well that would be for the heat, but you could try it. But anyways, yeah. But do give Nishane a chance. If y'all haven't tried Nishane, they got some good ones. They got some good fragrances. So, anyways, I got my Burberry Touch. You're loving that one. Yeah, who was that Big Beard Business was crazy about that Burberry Touch. I think I remember seeing him have like 7 bottles of that darn stuff. It's good. Yeah, it's definitely a great mass appealing fragrance. The performance wasn't great on me, but for somebody, especially if you just want something easy to wear casually, and actually surprisingly can be a pretty good date fragrance. It might not be the most sensual fragrance, but it definitely can make somebody feel comfortable, and that'll definitely work well in your favor. So yeah, Burberry Touch is pretty good, but yeah, projection isn't really strong, and longevity is kind of average on me. But anyways, it's not bad. Pitbull fragrance bottles, hell yeah. Pitbull fragrances. What's going on over here? Did he release his own fragrance line? I'm not sure what you mean. Edge's Dragon says, when I see Edge's Dragon, it's written in such a weird way. I'm a Harry Potter head a little bit too. I was into a lot of different fantasies as a kid. And I want to say like Edge's Diagon or Dagon, like Diagon Alley. Anyways, Edge's Dragon, I know you like to stream outside. Will you be able to take your cam outdoors? Can you hint at what games you might play? I could do them outdoors. That might be something that I want to do. I'm not sure. Let me know. And maybe I should do lives, video games and outdoors. Maybe people really like that. That might be a fun thing to do. But I'm going to play a little bit of everything, but I like more RPGs. I like things that have stories, and I usually don't keep up with the biggest trends with games. I haven't been playing too many recently. I got like a funny indie game. It's called like Turnip Head Commits Tax Evasion, and I haven't been able to get it to work yet. But I'm trying to figure out how to get it to work when I stream. But that one looks really fun. But again, there's a vampire game I really like. It's Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, and it sounds super nerdy because it is very nerdy. It's super, super nerdy. I'm on my 4th playthrough. This is a fragrance channel. We won't talk too much about that, but I'm on like my 4th playthrough because there's slightly different story. The game changes slightly, and there's like 7 or 8 different clans. So if you get into that game, let me know and we can talk about it. But Pitbull, let's see here. I know. Okay. Rosendo Mattel, number 1, about Tom Go. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Antonio, but I've heard good things about. I think aren't they the ones that make that number 5? I think it is. and everybody talks about that. So Antonio says SNF, great stuff. Yes. Tell me more about that, though. See, Tremaine says, I wore Nishane Ani last summer and choked everyone out. It does have really good performance, and it does become really airy. It kind of performs just as good as something like Bakker Rouge 540. And so, yeah, you do have to be kind of, careful on the trigger. Someone said I smelled like a butter cookie. That's a compliment. That's a good thing. Smelling like the butter cookie man. Hey, man, butter cookie man. That's nice. That's good. I haven't explored the house of Rosano or Rosando Mateo. I need to, Tremaine. I'm sorry about that. I tried to smell every darn fragrance in the world, but that's not one I've gotten my hands or nose on yet. But I will. I will do that for you soon here in the future. Edge's Dragon says, Edge is the dragon rider in Panzer Dragoon Saga. I figured Alagi, the dragon's name, was already taken. I'll have to check that out. I don't know too much about the Dragoon Saga, but I'll have to check it out. I know that Panzer it means tank. So that's kind of funny. Ronald Chapinga says, evening, scent of the night is Isimiaki pour homme. Is it or incense? Yes, with the incense. How's that fragrance? Is it any good? I still don't have a Isimiaki in the collection. I do like Noir Argent. That's probably the one that would suit me with my personality, but I don't know if I need it. It's a good fragrance, but I have lots of things that kind of do something similar, and I've smelled some other fragrances that I think are even better that I'm willing to save my money for. But it's still a good sensual fragrance. If you want like a smooth, dark fragrance, Noir Argent is actually quite nice. It's a little bit linear, but it is a seductive thing. So let's see here. I love everything I have so far, 1 and 2, and 5. 5 is a 10 out of 10. Yeah, I've heard some people talking about that. Number 5 was like a masterpiece. So people have been going crazy about that number 5. Tremaine says Rosendo Mateo 5 is nice, but I wouldn't buy since I already have Grand Soir. Okay, so it must be like an amber fragrance. I haven't really explored that Mateo number 5 yet, but I'll definitely have to try to get myself a sample of that one. Say which one is the best, Antonio. Everybody's talking about that Rosando Mateo. Thanks for helping out, Abraham. Helping everybody out. Ronald says my first I am okay. Still talking about Mateo, and I really liked it. I might have to pick up Pulse of the Night. Yeah, that Pulse of the Night. I might just have to blind buy that one because I rarely see it. Its availability is still off, and for all I know, it's already discontinued. Fragrances come and go quickly, but I would like to get my nose on that one. I really would. So Tremaine says yes. Okay. Okay. Let me catch up. Great conversation, though. We're having a really good conversation. So let me see if there's any other fragrances that catch my eye that I could mention. There's some lots of odd brands. There's this Bulg Hirello. There's so many fragrances out there, guys. It's really hard to get a hold of all of them. Sapil, don't know much about that brand either. So, are there any other fragrances that catch my eye? Are you all excited for that new Silky Woods by Goldfield and Banks? I want to try it, but I don't know if I'll be enthusiastic about it. To me, I like fragrances that tell a story, and if it's just smooth, really rich, creamy woods, that might be really nice. But I like fragrances that are a little bit more, I don't know, have a few more elements to them than that. So let's look over this Witty and Black collection and see if any of these stand out. Again, I tried number 3. It was very mass appealing. It was actually really good. There's a few fragrances I've tried that actually smelled like designer fragrances, if not even better. So again, the Witty and 3 did remind me of Ultramall, but even better. And I've talked about Gallimard's Mazzanote, I believe it is, smelled better than the original Invictus. And I don't even know if that thing's made anymore, but it was a really good fragrance. So here, let me catch up. Catching up. Grand Soir has nuclear longevity. Yes, very good. Tremaine's laughing about the Silky Woods. Yes, maybe he's a smooth agent. I don't know, man. Tremaine, I don't know. Scott says, by the way, Burberry Indigo perfumer is Maison. Yeah, the Francis Kurkdjian. Yes, the man, the legend himself. Isn't he the guy who people say he does a better job with making fragrances for other people than his own brand? Yeah, again, I don't have anything against the guy, but I really don't personally connect to a lot of or most of the fresh fragrances, the aquatics of Maison Fresh's Curtijon. And those are the ones that kind of got everybody talking about back in the day, a couple years ago. That's the ones that kind of sold a bunch of bottles, and people in the fragcom seem to really like them. I've never really understood the popularity. I've just never really connected to them. I'm curious to see if y'all like them, and they don't have crazy good performance either. So they must be working for somebody out there. People must be buying them somewhere. Okay, so let's explore Whittian just a little bit. Whittian 1 has cardamom. Sorry, guys. Cardamom, cinnamon, cypress, frankincense, sandalwood, cedar, and musk. Sounds spicy and sensual, and a little bit fresh and clean. I do like cypress in a fragrance. Maybe a little bit of a royal fragrance. Whittian 2 has plum, mandarin, sandalwood, and rose. This one sounds like the sensual one. This sounds like maybe the one a lot of people want to go for. It also has vanilla, musk, and moss. So Whittian 2 looks really good. Whittian 3 is the one that I tried. I've already tried this one. This has bergamot, mint, woody notes, leather, patchouli, sandalwood, vanilla, oud, and moss. I didn't get a lot of the mint at all, not a lot of the bergamot. It was more like a smooth, sweet fragrance. Sorry, you can ignore the little cat. Cat is complaining because cat wants second dinner. Cat, that's how cats do it. So Whittian 4 here is plum, blackcurrant, and bergamot, white rose, white flowers and rose, vanilla, leather, musk, and sandalwood. So that sounds nice. Woody, cashmere, and leathery, kind of sweet. They say the jasmine, the tuberose comes out a lot in that one. And then there's the Whittian 5. I think this is the last one. There's cinnamon, peach, and lemon. I don't know about the peach, but maybe this one might be really good for the ladies too. Okay, they do say it's feminine. For me personally, how do y'all feel about peach and fragrances? To me, peach, I would like to find a fragrance that I could comfortably wear. I think there was one by Slumber House that had a bit of apricot. I can kind of wear apricot a little bit more, but peach, I don't know. It's to me feels more feminine. Anyways, cinnamon, peach, lemon, tuberose, orange blossom, caramel, cedar, and vanilla. So that's the Whittian 5. So maybe I'll try the Whittian 1 in the future from the black collection. There is a gold collection, so don't get the two mixed up. But maybe I'll try the Whittian 1, and we'll have to see. Maybe the Whittian 2. We'll have to see when I can get samples of these. But yeah, the 3 didn't blow me away. I had high expectations. And there was a little bit of hype for the Whittians for a little while, but I could never figure out which ones people were hyping. They were just talking about Whittian in general. I was looking for them to talk about a certain fragrance. So, what's your Twitch username? I don't even know if I want to give it out yet. I only have like one video that's posted, and I haven't even edited the channel very much. But it's Jimmy Jam Jim, and I'm trying to make it like a pirate theme. It's quite ridiculous, but we'll have to see if it works. Let's see. Anyways, catch up with the names. Grand Soir has nuclear longevity. Silky Woods. The first time I really tried to record videos, I don't think they even posted, and I was playing Star Wars Republic Commando. Star Wars. Anyways, I don't even think they uploaded, and they were probably really bad. I know that my internet was really bad at the time, so I don't think anybody would ever want to watch them. But quickly talking about video games once again, I did beat the whole game single player, which the AI, it's a 4-player game. You're supposed to play it with friends, and that's one reason it was popular back in the day. Like 4 people could play with each other at the same time, and everybody had a different job and a role, and you work together like a team. And the AI is pretty bad in the game. They're pretty darn bad, and to beat it single player is actually quite an accomplishment. But I did it. It was very difficult. I did some very ridiculous things that you should never have to do to beat a video game. So, anyways. Let's see. Maison Fresh's Curtijon, Aqua Celestia. Yeah, there's a couple of them that are pretty decent, but a lot of the fresh fragrances from Maison Fresh's Curtijon, especially for how much money they charge, they're just not for me. Goofy names, bro. Yeah. Scott, anyways. Twitch bin, do you like Bond number 9 Shelter Island? I don't know if I've tried Shelter Island. I have tried Fire Island, and Fire Island was crazy and kind of horrendous to me, but Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Bond number nine. I'm not trying to beat up on the company. I've joked about it quite a few times. I've tried like a dozen or more of their fragrances. Ches Bond was decent. It's probably the most wearable of the bunch, and I would only get it or possibly buy it for like half the price, like for 130, 20, like $100. And I don't even have it in the collection. I'd have to get a screaming deal to even want to get it. And there's a couple other ones that were decent. Bleecker Street is considered a classic. I think New Harlem is discontinued, and that one had like a maple syrup kind of quality to it, and it was one of their best. And then that was a great fragrance, the New Harlem. That was like their almost like their honey tobacco, almost like fragrance. There was the original Andy Warhol, which was a big hit. That was a legit fragrance, but there was a bit of inner fighting and legal disputes with the name and all that. So that fragrance got canned or canceled or thrown, uh, kind of removed. Anyways, I'll have to try out some more of them. I've had people suggest to me some of the Bond number nines that they actually like. They have a lot of fragrances. They have a lot of them. So I do need to give them more of a chance. But anyway, Scott says camera's looking good. I'm glad that y'all like it. I set it up and I'm happy with how it's turned out tonight. This was really good. I think I'm going to do more of my lives like this. And I actually have some other lights to set up, and hopefully I can improve things with the lighting even more and to make things look better with the contrast. But the graphics are looking pretty good. I mean, you can see me, and I kind of like how this turned out. Thank you, Scott. I do appreciate it. Tremaine says, I own 8 Bonds. Oh, New York is a killer Neroli. I might have to try some of those out. I don't know if I've tried that one. Again, it was kind of earlier in my fragrance journey, and I'd probably need to explore them some more and actually do full-length reviews. But that kind of gets me on another topic. We've been on here for about an hour and 20 minutes going, smoothing in, creeping in on the hour and a half. I do want to let y'all know that I'm not going full top 10 or top 5s, but I am going to try to find kind of fun, playful ways with topics, maybe more laid back house overviews. And I'm going to, of course, try to mix it up a little bit instead of giving y'all individual reviews. I like doing individual reviews. I think that they're the most helpful. If I want to buy a fragrance and truly understand a fragrance, I try to find a fragrance reviewer. Some people can step outside of their personal opinions, even if they can't, even if they're being opinionated about the fragrance. I still get a perspective about how the fragrance actually smells. And then it helps me to make a more educated decision, possibly buying that fragrance going forward. Top 10 lists are all good and all that, but getting 30 seconds and a minute maybe on one fragrance is not good enough for me to really maybe want to blind buy a fragrance and really understand it. But again, it's always funny that people don't, Jeremy Fragrance and people who are, getting the views and what people are actually clicking on doesn't seem to be the actual individual reviews. And that's one reason Gent Sense has kind of switched up his game. More power to him. But it's kind of funny. That's, and I didn't understand this at first when I started fragrance reviewing. I consider everybody watching fragrances as the fragrance community, but the people who are actually very passionate about fragrances and actually understand fragrances. And I'm not even talking about the people who necessarily are niche heads or anything like that. I'm saying the people who actually want to be friends and get to know you and actually regularly come and watch fragrance content and, actually might watch individual reviews. Those people are a very small minority. I don't know if it's 10%. I don't know if it's 20, but most of the people watching videos like Jeremy Fragrance are people who see something, a commercial, and type in just fragrance or something. And they just watch that video because it's a top 10. And then they have a frame of reference where they can go into a mall or a boutique and just buy it. And it's a little bit more casual. Nothing's wrong with that. There's a lot of people who are more casual. But again, if I really want to buy a fragrance and I think make an educated decision, I like full length reviews. But I'm going to try to, again, I'm not going to do as many of those. I'm still going to do a lot of them, and I have a whole box of them to do. But I'm going to switch things up. You're going to get a mix of individual reviews and a lot of other random stuff. So we'll see what we can do to have some fun, guys. We'll have some fun. So anyways, Tremaine says New York Oud is a banger from Bond. It's discontinued, though. Yeah, it's funny. Bond every time I smell a good one that I like, or I see somebody else like it seems like they discontinue the good ones. Like Matok was a very popular fragrance from them, Matok, and I think that's how you say it, and it's discontinued. I'm pretty sure it is. So that's Wall Street is a unique aquatic fragrance. I might have to try that Wall Street. I don't remember if I tried that one or not, but a Montauk, yeah, that's the one. Tremaine, that's the one. Montauk, that was one of their best. I think it's discontinued. Might be wrong, but that used to be one that people talked about a little bit on and off in the past, and I think it's gone. I think it's gone. So anyways, any thoughts? Any thoughts, my friends? Anything else y'all want to tell me? I think we're creeping up on the 1:30, 1 hour and a half. You loyal 12 people who are watching with me right now, I do want to say thank you. I'm probably going to wrap this up and say goodbye. If y'all have any questions for me or any thoughts, feel free to ask them away. We've kind of talked about the new fragrance releases or any fragrance news. We kind of talked about a topic. We had a lot of fun tonight. Again, I'm going to try to figure out what I can do to even improve this camera and this setup. And figure out what I can do. I don't want to play with it right now. I might try to change the settings on y'all at the very end of the video just to see what I can do. So you'll be ready for that at the very end, because I've never gone live on through Instagram. I mean through YouTube, and played around with the settings. So hi DJ Ginkai, is it Jinkai or Ginkai? Anyways, good to see you pop in, my friend. How's life been treating you? I need to catch up with your YouTube. Have you been putting out any videos recently? I saw you were on and off, but I do need to catch up if you have. Matt says Chopard's Vanille de Madagascar is a big winner for me. What Chopard fragrances do you think are nice? I haven't seen that one, the Vanille de Madagascar, but I bet it's amazing. I have the Oud Vanille, which is amazing. I had their what was it called? The Amber Malaki, which was really, really good as well. I need to explore some more of them. The Vetiver Malaki even looked good. There's a lot of them that look good. So the Chopards, they make some great fragrances, and sometimes you can find them for good prices. So I'll have to check out that Vanille de Madagascar when I can. A good cast, Tremaine. I do appreciate you too, my friend. If y'all don't know Tremaine, check out his channel. Check out what he's got going on over there. He's a cool guy. Scott says, TL, do you mean TLTG and Studio Sense have great content? You have awesome in-depth as well. Thank you. I do appreciate that. Yeah, I do have a little bit more of an analytical mind, and I get into these little nitty-gritty details. And again, sometimes I know that a lot of people refer to fragrances in an emotional way, and I do sometimes try to give y'all something if it actually does bring a fragrance memory up for me. But I don't like to exaggerate. I don't try to make a story up to give you a frame of reference, unless when I smell that fragrance and it actually reminds me of a memory or when I was a kid or some situation I've been in, or reminds me of a certain thing. There's a fragrance I smelled recently. I haven't reviewed it yet, but it reminded me of raspberry lemonade. It's still not my favorite fragrance, and I don't want to buy it just because it smells like raspberry lemonade. But it was nice that it reminded me of something. I did think that was quite fun. So yeah, I'm going to try to give y'all a good balance with fun and education. As y'all know, I've always tried to help people understand what the notes actually smell like and give y'all descriptions of what the notes actually can do. And I think that's important. I think that's something fragrance reviewers need to do. At least that's one reason I started my channel. Again, for the 17 people who are here, if you're considering continuing to watching me as a fragrance content creator, I started my channel to not only educate people, also to talk about prices, the value of fragrances, what are fragrances actually worth, what the fragrances cost, and evaluating the fragrances, on that price for value, but also help, again, with my motto, helping you wear what you love. Again, it's suggesting fragrances and exploring fragrances so you can find something you actually really like, instead of telling you what to buy or what you must buy or what, something like that. My channel has always been about helping you, connect to a fragrance and find it for yourself. So hope that makes sense. If you're on the ride to smell, to not only smell great, but for other people, but you yourself, you want to smell, like the way you smell and kind of matches your personality and how you feel and all that. That's what my channel is about. So Let's catch up here. No, I'm about to do a rogue video. Yep, on Sheepra Siam. I've heard good things about that. DJ, I'll catch that. I'll definitely try to catch up with your content. And do check out DJ. He's got a cool little channel going over there. And I definitely want to support the good people who are doing their best with new fragrance channels. Again, I've been reviewing for over 2 years. And I got something going on, but there's a bunch of cool people popping in too. So there's always somebody new. Ben, we need more Twitch info. The people demand it. Okay, so it's Jimmy Jam Jim. I only have like one video out. It's going to be very difficult to find me because my profile isn't even fully completed. You're gonna have to find me. You're probably gonna have to try to find a really old video or my first video of Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. Again, if I become bigger, maybe I'll link it here and recommend it and show it to you. But as far as right now, I don't know if I can do that. But unless y'all really want to watch me, I can do that. But again, I don't know how many of y'all are actually interested in watching odd video games. Again, I don't have a gaming PC. I'm trying to work on that in the future, actually having a good computer. And I'm not a Call of Duty guy. I'm not into repeatedly online, competitions like League of Legends. I'm not into that kind of stuff. But I like more RPGs. Like hopefully it would be a dream come true. With the new Vampire the Masquerade coming out, if I had a gaming PC by then, I would love that. So I could actually stream it. I really so I like RPGs like the Metro series. There was the Metro, a couple of them, the Last Light Redux and the Exodus, which are like survival Russian games. Those were quite nice. I don't want to name off all the games I've played fairly recently, but let's see here. Joining in late, what's your favorite Roja fragrance? Or Roger Dove? Lol, yes, Ultra Supra. Thoughts on picking up a bottle of Elysium, but decide against it for its pathetic longevity? Yeah, it smells really nice, and it might get you in the top notes, and it is a good smelling fragrance. It gave me 6, maybe 7 hours. Yeah, for the price, for what you're getting, I do agree. It should give you better performance. It might last 6 hours on you, but the projection is really weak. The longevity is almost okay, but the projection is the thing. People aren't really going to notice you with Elysium, and again, that's quite shocking. And some people might say put on 10 sprays, put on 20 sprays. Sure, you can make up for a bit of the projection and but it's not going to last much longer. And then you're wasting a lot of money because you're putting on tons of sprays. It's a mess. A mess. And yeah, it's Roger Dove. I don't speak too highly about a lot of their fragrances. The Creation E, the Enigma Cologne was one that I actually really, really liked. It's a fantastic fragrance. I think it's one of their best. So if you've never tried one of their fragrances, that's probably one of their most mass appealing ones. Danger Parfum Cologne has pretty almost poor longevity, but I've seen some people really like it, which is more of like a fresh, almost ambery, sweet amber fragrance. You might want to try that one, but I'm with you. If it's a niche fragrance, if you're paying $200 more plus dollars, give us at least 8 hours. If you can. Natural citruses can't really do that, but at least have a dry down, at least have a base that's long lasting. The opening might not last, but anyways, we need more Sucre Labels reviews. I'll try to do some of those. I'll have to try to make them into a list. We'll have to see if I do too many of those in the future. I've reviewed a lot of Sucre Label fragrances. They release a lot of new fragrances all the time with funny names. If I do any of those, I'm going to have to try to make them in a list. And even when I do make something like that into a list, not everybody watches. That's the problem with indie fragrance reviews. Very few people know about them. Very few people are searching them. So YouTube suggests it even less. And it almost hurts your channel as a YouTuber. If you want to be creating content that people are searching for and that people are aware of and that they're interested in. And indie fragrances are fun, and I liked exploring them, and I still have some other brands to explore, but I don't know when I'm going to actually do the full-length reviews. I'm going to give I don't even know if I'm going to do full-length reviews. I bought some fragrances. to review of Screaming Mandrake, and I don't even think I'm going to review them. They're decent, but they're like odd indie fragrances. And from the brand is kind of either owned or kind of as another one of those companies that try almost, you know, is not, afraid to, share that they're witchy or witch. And I don't have anything particularly against that, but it's not something that, if I'm out here talking about a fragrance nobody's heard of before, and if you did buy it, you might not like it, and then the brand is owned by a witch. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if that's a good idea. So I'm trying to strike a good balance with my content, with what you want and what's going to help people. So let me know what you want. But we'll see, DJ. We'll see what I can do with the indie fragrances. Scott says, "You tell it like it is." Yeah, I definitely try to be down to earth and honest as I can, and helpful, add value, do all that good stuff. So hopefully, I'm doing that. I'm doing my best. Ultra Super says, "Just received samples of Enigma and Scandal. Just excited to check them out." Enigma, yeah, definitely. That's pretty nice. The Creation E, I really like the cologne version. But both of those are pretty good, that's for sure. But again, the prices, Roger Dove, the prices. Elysium is one of the few niche fragrances that I'm replacing with a clone. Yeah, exactly. You can get something that smells very similar to Elysium, but you can get better performance, and you can get things that smell almost just as good for a lot less. One of them was called, what was it, Babylon Fragrances? It was called The One. I kind of tried to talk to the guy about his company, why he called it that, because there's Dolce & Gabbana The One. I don't know. He wanted to call his fragrance The One, but it was essentially a clone of Elysium. People are funny. People can do what they want. But anyways, yeah, there's fragrances out there that they'll do a lot better for you. Alexandria, yeah, Xeon. Yeah, I've heard really good things about that one. It's very close and better performance. Yep, I've heard that. Ultra Supra. Ben Concio says, "I get strong longevity with Elysium, almost 10 hours. I'm happy that works for you. With maybe it's your skin, maybe my skin's bad. I'm not sure, but I do get decent longevity with the fragrance, 6 or 7 hours, especially if I sprayed it on clothes. Maybe I could get up there to 8 hours or so, but it just doesn't project very well. So that's my struggle with it, at least. Ultra Super Xeon, yes, that's hard to believe. Not my experience at all with Elysium. Do you mean the performance? Let's see here. What do you know about Ghost Ship? I have heard about them and I've looked at them. I just haven't bought them. Let's see. Anthony says Elysium works really well on my skin. I'm happy that it does work on your skin. Again, maybe I need to test it some more. I'm pretty sure I gave it a thorough testing, but maybe it's just because it's so transparent. It's has almost no weight to it, so I really couldn't smell it. I mean, honestly, after a couple hours, I thought it was completely gone. But people could notice it on me and would give me feedback up to like 5 or 6 hours. It's one of those fragrances I wouldn't be surprised if people say it disappeared after an hour, because it didn't work on me and all that. So, anyways, Armani or Versace, I'm not sure which fragrance you're asking about. If you're asking in general, I do tend to like Versace fragrances a good bit, but both are great. The Armani Privé collection, their niche line, is fantastic, highly underrated. Please do check out the Armani collection. They have some great fragrances, highly recommended. Ultra Super says, yeah, definitely the performance on Elysium is very underwhelming. That's how I felt about it. Again, more power to you if it works, and I'm very happy if a fragrance works for you and if you like it. I'm just telling you what I know, my personal experience, and I've also seen quite a few people who with Elysium, it just doesn't work for them. I've seen some people complain about both longevity and projection. Again, on me, I can kind of get it to work with the projection. I mean, with the longevity, but the projection just doesn't work. Making sense. Good to see you pop in, my friend. We're about to end the live, though. We're creeping up on an hour and 40. We've got to go, but I do appreciate all of your time, everybody. We've had a really, really good live. It's been really fun. And we've had a good time. So the current Aventus is weak, but Elysium is even worse. See, I'm not disagreeing. I'd have to test them side by side. That's pretty bold because the new Aventus is it holds on for 6 or 7 hours. I don't know. I have to wear both of them to see if it. I know that The new Aventus probably does project a little bit better than Elysium, but I think they might last about the same, which is not a good thing. Both of them, for your money, I would. I mean, I don't think you're getting a great value, but anyways, again, if you're wanting that mass appealing, versatile fragrance and you're first getting into niche, I always recommend y'all get Cedroc Boise by Monsara. I've done that for quite a while. Get it for about $80. So, and again, y'all know what I've talked about Aventus. Aventus, we won't get into the whole history, but Aventus has had lots of not reformulations, but lots of different batches and had lots of different iterations and versions, and they played around with it. Maybe their sourcing was bad. Maybe their blending was bad. Maybe, when they were putting the fragrance together, one day one guy liked to make it a different way than the other guy. Maybe they didn't have good control and they poured in the pot of fragrances, whatever they wanted to do 1 month, and the next month they just used whatever they could get their hands on. I don't know the whole story, but after 2016, there was a reformulation. It was essentially just a little bit weaker. It wasn't as rich, and but it wasn't terrible. It was more, they took away a lot of the smokiness and the ambergris that made it sparkle, and they took away most of the oak moss. So most people actually think of Aventus, they think it as more of a pineapple, fresh, clean fragrance. And Aventus originally was a little bit more of a smoky, masculine oak moss fragrance that was described as a man's fragrance. And some people joke about, everybody, there were some reviewers and a lot of people who said it was an attractive fragrance. And there actually would be people who would joke and kind of insult them and kind of make their own inside joke that's a fragrance for attracting men. Which, I mean, if you're attracted to other men, there's no problem with that. I respect that. But anyways, Aventus after last year, after 2020, late last year, and getting into this year, they've had another complete reformulation, and now it has more of the DNA that Aventus Cologne used to have, or does have with Aventus Cologne, and it's more of this musky type DNA. It's very different from what it used to be. It has little to no of the real ambergris, none of the oak moss, none of the smoke, and it's a completely different fragrance, and it's a lot weaker than it used to be. It's even weaker now. So I really recommend against people getting Aventus. They're actually clones and fragrances inspired other niche houses and even clone houses that smell more like what Aventus used to smell like, or smell better than Aventus these days. And there are some people who are Aventus or Creed fanboys who do not want to hear that. Live your life, do whatever you want to do. But there's clones and other niche houses that make better fragrances, better Aventus fragrances than Creed can even do these days. And because they've, again, been sold out, and who knows what other troubles and things they're going to do in the future. So Creed's a mess, and it's only going to get worse with something like, again, Viking Cologne. Don't have high expectations. And I already saw one fragrance reviewer essentially say that it smelled cheap, which is not a good. It's not a compliment for a fragrance that costs $300 or $400 at a boutique. So let's see here. What do you think about the House of Boise 1920? Great question. There Ben Concio. It's a great house. Sushi Imperial is a little bit of a sweet, fresh fragrance. It's like kind of like a romantic, sweet, spicy, charming fragrance. I really like their Really Patchouli. That's probably my favorite fragrance from them so far. Magia is one of those fresh, clean fragrances. Kind of, it might possibly have been inspired by Silver Mountain Water. Does have some similarities, and but it's really good. It's really, really good. But the performance on that one is so-so. But for how good it is and how clean it is, that Magia fragrance is fantastic too. So I plan to get that one in the future. But the only one I have so far from Boise 1920 is the Really Patchouli. And it's like a fresh, citrusy, spicy patchouli. It's more versatile than you would think. It's not a heavy, dense patchouli. It's very Italian. I really enjoy it. So great house, though. Certainly worth exploring. Get yourself some samples. Again, with any of these niche houses, figure out what works for you. Figure out what you like. Try to get, do get samples. But again, the better thing to do is go to a boutique, especially if you live in a big city. Smell up everything you can. Actually wear the fragrance and actually get feedback from other people. Like, you can go to a boutique and wear that fragrance that day and then see if you get reactions, or ask people what their opinions are on the fragrance. and get feedback immediately instead of blind buying a fragrance and taking a big risk on it. So, anyways, Ultra Super says at those prices they should perform better. I agree. Um, there are limitations or struggles with natural ingredients, but again, most fragrances are mostly made out of synthetics, even on the niche level, mostly synthetic most of the time. But they're higher quality and they're blended better, but and all that. But yeah, I do think that performance does need to be kind of almost like standardized. I mean, most people want 8 hours. Some people say they want more. Some people say they want beast mode out of every fragrance. I don't want beast mode out of every fragrance. I do think it is good to have projection and get noticed and be bold with some fragrances, but some everyday fragrances they don't need to be that strong. And I actually wouldn't want them every fragrance to be beast mode. But I do understand the feeling though. If you're going to pay money, you should be getting value. That's for sure. Let's see here. Cedrat Boisé is a really good fragrance. Yes, Anthony, one of the best mass appealing, easy to wear niche fragrances. And again, if you're first getting into niche, or if you want an easy to wear niche that you're going to like and other people are going to love how it smells on you, if you can get it on sale for around $80 right now, I sometimes see it creep up closer to around $100. But if you can get it even at $100, it's a 4-ounce bottle. It's not even a normal size. It's a bigger size than normal. Cedrat Boisé definitely will treat you well. Top 5 fruity fragrances. I probably would have to make a list to do that, and really think about that. Um, I don't know. I probably, if I made a list like that, I would probably try to highlight some of my favorite fruits, like grapefruit and fig. And I'd have a real tough time because I'd want to make it a fresh list. But there's some fragrances that are deeper, more complex, that are chypres that have used things like apricot. Again, I've mentioned that before, or peach. So I might have to make a list about that. I might have to do that for you. But anyways, what's one off the top of my head I could think of? I don't know. There's some fragrances with cherry and raspberry. I do like raspberry. It's not really a fragrance that's dominated by fruit, but it does have a little bit of that twang to it. Nichonne's Ani would certainly have to be up there for me, and Blackmail by Kerosene, which has a little bit of that sour raspberry quality. What's your favorite Aventus clone? I really liked Napoleon. What was it? Napoleon Cologne from the House of Zoha, which is a fragrance house out of Canada. They did a really good job. It's probably the best one for the money that I've ever smelled. And the opening, there's one from Mazzolari. It's a one called Nero. Again, if you haven't seen my video yet, I did a 5 niche fragrances better than Aventus. Hopefully, y'all seen that video. And again, I feel like some of y'all maybe don't pop in, or maybe you do and you don't comment. But I've been putting out a video every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 3 times a week. And sometimes y'all ask me questions, and I'm like, I just talked about it. But definitely that, you could find yourself a good fruity fragrance in there if you like pineapple. And clone-wise, I'd probably go for that. I've made some videos in the past about that as well. Al Haramain's La Aventure is pretty dependable. For $35 odd, it might be the best one overall. But if you want really good performance, and also if you do like that smokiness, some people do, some people don't. But y'all already know about Club de Nuit. I do have the Intense. I am going to try to get a review. I think I might have already recorded it, but it doesn't really give you better performance, and that's one reason people love Club de Nuit and Club de Nuit. But the Intense Parfum does give you a better, more natural and better smelling opening, and it's a smoother fragrance overall, and it does smell slightly of higher quality, but it doesn't really give you better performance. So for some people, the extra 15, 20 odd dollars, it might not be worth it for you, but I actually do think it's an improvement. Do I think they should have switched some notes around or thrown something interesting into the fragrance? Yes, I think that if you're going to make a flanker, I think they did succeed in what they were trying to do, but they also had an opportunity. So they could have done something a little bit different. Instead of pineapple, switch the pineapple into star fruit, or or do something different. It would have been really fun to see that, but they decide not to. But y'all know that it's a highly successful house. I'm sure that they'll produce another flanker sometime in the future. We'll have to see what they do. Ben says I'm getting Ultramare Dolce di Giorno and Verde de Mare from Boise next week. Oh, you must really like the House of Boise 1920. I've tried Ultramare, and I don't think I've put out my full length review, but I have talked about it on my Instagram, and it's pretty much a masterpiece, guys. If you want a complex, fresh fragrance, I think it's the Ultramare. I'm pretty sure it is. Let me Google it here real quick. It's fantastic. It's highly recommended here, but not everybody has smelled it or tried it, and I'm surprised that more people didn't really. It came in my bundle from Scent Explorer, but I'm surprised that not everybody's talking about it because as far as fresh fragrances go, it's one of the best. Yes, this is the one. It's complex, it's rich, it's got lots of dualities, it's got some of the best citruses in the game. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful fragrance, my friends. Highly recommend it. But I'm not familiar with the Dolce di Giorno or that Verde or any of that. So, but you'll have to let me know how those go, Ben. I'd love to know some of your feedback and thoughts. Anthony Concepcion says Guerlain Le Homme Ideal EDP with the cherry. Yes, that's a beautiful one with the cherry. Actually, I've been needing to buy that one. It's on the buy list, my friends. That one's on the buy list. Or Chic. Yes, Carolina Herrera's Chic with the watermelon. Yes, that's still out there for a fairly decent price. If you want watermelon in a fragrance, I've been tempted to buy it. I know that it would smell good, and I know that watermelon would get you compliments, but I don't know if I want to honestly smell like a watermelon. That's funny. See, everybody's funny. We're all different people. I'd rather smell like a cherry than a watermelon. I don't know why, but we're all different people. But if you want a fresh, fruity fragrance, yeah, that Chic is. I've heard very good things about it. Nishane's Haktavat. I was gonna say that, but I've thought of that. I thought that I've said it too many times, so I didn't want to beat the dead horse. But you're absolutely right. Nishane's Haktavat blows both the Ventus and Elysium out of the water. Much better performance. It's much richer. It's much more complex, and it smells like maybe a 2014, more like a 2015 batch of a Ventus, and you don't have to fight people on eBay for it, and you don't have to pay $1,000 for it. So, Nishane's Haktavat, great fragrance. Ritz Sprit says, Jimmy Jam Jim, if you could, are y'all going to start addressing me as Jimmy Jam Jim? Do I need to change my YouTube channel to Jimmy Jam Jim now? Anyways, maybe if I become a big enough Twitch person, I don't know. I don't think I'd do that, but if you could only keep just one niche fragrance and one designer fragrance, what would they be? These are the kind of questions I don't want to answer because it's, kind of one of those fantasy things, but I'll answer it. Jubilation 25 by Amouage. It's probably my favorite niche of all time. It's probably my favorite fragrance. I've heard that it's possibly been watered down. Again, I have to go to the boutique to smell it to see if it's true. I did get a sample that smelled watered down, and if that's how the new reformulated version smells, I'm going to put the hammer on Amouage. And again, they could do their own thing, and they're trying to be more mass appealing with their new creative direction. But I personally don't really like too much what Amouage has been doing recently. I think they're good fragrances, and they're going to be more wearable to a lot of people. But to me, it's not what I would personally want Amouage to do, being more mass appealing as a house. But I do want to try Boundless because I do like spicy, boozy fragrances. So I am excited to try that new release from them. But again, Jubilation 25, at least as far as I know, beautiful fragrance and one of the best that's ever been made. It's remarkable. It's fancy. It makes you smell like a king. It changes. It's like 4 fragrances in one, and it's just special to me. Designer fragrance wise, I'm not really sure what I would choose. That's a very tough question. A very tough question indeed. I'm not really sure. If I had to choose one fragrance, I don't know. Do I have an unlimited supply? Can I wear it 24/7 all year long and I don't have to worry about price and availability? If that's the case, I mean, I might get an Eau Fresh fragrance. I might wear like, I don't know, something maybe like Cartier's Roadster Sport. If I could douse myself in that 24/7 and performance wasn't an issue, I probably might go for that. If it was one designer fragrance, and I couldn't choose any other ones, I really like my. It's an odd flanker that not everybody knows about. Oh, it's unlimited. I probably would go for Cartier Roadster Sport because it's fancy, it's clean, it's classy, it's timeless. It doesn't have the strongest projection, but it's not bad. It usually doesn't have the best longevity, but if I can wear it anytime, anywhere, and I can get as much of it as I want, I don't have to worry about it running out. I mean, Cartier's Roadsters, it's timeless. It just works. If I didn't have those unlimited sprays, and I probably would go for something classy and spicy. I'd be really tempted to choose my Azar Wanted by Night, but I might go for something odd that not everybody knows about, so I could feel like I was standing out. Maybe be a little bit different. I like my Givenchy Play. What is it called? Givenchy Play Intense. Not everybody knows about that fragrance, and I have a bottle. I actually like it. I don't wear it too often, but it's like vanillic and musky and fresh and almost woody, and it's really really nice. So I don't know. I really like that one. I think Montal's niche. I don't think I can include them. If I could include Montal, I think they're niche. But if they were designer, I'd be tempted maybe to go for Arabian's Tonka. But Givenchy Play Intense. Oof, yeah, Givenchy Play Intense or anything like that. So yeah, Givenchy Play Intense, things like that. Anyways, or Givenchy Pie Intense. That's I don't know if it's called Intense. There's a flanker of that. Anyways, that's answered the question. So I did my best. So any questions, guys? We've been on here for almost 2 hours. Are Givenchy very irresistible? Hey, that wouldn't be a bad choice. There's a lot of good choices out there. That one could work. That one could work some magic. So anyways, Pie Extreme. That's the one. It is extreme. I was forgetting the word. It was extreme. That's the one I was thinking of. Givenchy Pie Extreme. You're right. You might be thinking that I was thinking of the Givenchy Zurius Rouge. Now, that is a fantastic fragrance. But I'd want something that could work, I don't know, a little bit more playful and seductive at the same time. Givenchy Zurius Rouge is something I would kind of want to wear that's fancy, and I almost want to dress up with that fragrance a lot of time. To me, Givenchy Pie Extreme is comforting, and it's smooth. It has a certain specialness about it. Jay-Z, what's up, Ben? I'm doing pretty good. You popped in at the very end of the live. I'm sorry that I probably have to go soon, but we've been on here for about 2 hours, and we've had a very good time. We've had a very good live. I do appreciate all of y'all for being a friend and for hanging out with me and chatting it up. We've had a great time. Next time we get to do one of these lives, I might be set up outdoors. We'll have to see if I can do that. I might just be indoors, but I'll have a microphone hooked up. Hopefully the audio quality will be even better, and hopefully I'll have some lighting set up, and maybe I'll be able to focus on my face a little bit better. I've been playing around with that, but so I don't know on your screen if you see black edges. As I'm recording right now, I see black edges, like the screen, like my camera isn't doing recording enough to be able to fit the whole screen for what you're seeing. But if you're on a phone, I'm sure that it's working. But if you're on a desktop, you might be able to see some black edges, and I don't really like that. So Jay-Z says, what up, Ben? Pi Neo is really good. Yeah, I need to revisit that one. I might have tried it, but I probably forgotten about it. It's been so long. But yeah, there was a Givenchy Pi was a really good line. And now, has Givenchy made any new fragrances recently? They've made some really good ones. And again, I try to mention the ones for the ladies. There's a lot of good perfumes from Givenchy for the ladies as well, and they're really underrated. And I don't know why Givenchy has fallen out of popularity or fallen out of grace for a lot of people, but they're a great house, and they're really worth trying and worth exploring. Ritz Sprit says, what's Jimmy Jam Jim's favorite fragrance? I don't really know. For a pirate, joking, I don't know. I'm going to joke around, go with a pirate thing. Maybe I'll change things, and I won't stick with that pirate theme. But I don't know. It'd probably have to have something to do with rum Where's all the rum gone? So I've been tempted to get Atkinson's Pirates Grand Reserve, but I had a friend get it recently, and they said it was way too floral and powdery, and I was worried about that, so I've never bought it. So I don't know. I'd have to go with something boozy. I'd have to look over my collection again to see if I have anything boozy enough. It might be Baranda by Nasumato. I've been needing to get that one in the collection. I think Killian's Apple Brandy has been discontinued, but that was definitely one of Killian's best. It's funny that some of the best fragrances get discontinued. Like Tom Ford's Plum Japonais was discontinued. Plum Japonais was one of Tom Ford's best. So it's sad when that happens. Anyways, Ben says the only Blase 1920 in my collection is Oro, Great Smoky Raspberry Leather. The three coming in next week are blind buys. I hope that they work out for you. I might have to try that Oro. I don't remember if I've tried it. There's a lot to explore from a lot of these niche houses, and I'm sure that y'all feel the same way. Because trust me, you see some of these niche houses, and you're like, I've never tried these before. And then you look, and then you notice they have 20 fragrances. They have 30. They have 40, 50 fragrances. And it's possible that you haven't tried any of them. And that's sometimes how it goes, my friends. That's sometimes how it goes. So Summer Cheapy, Chrome Azaro Summer 1-2. Yeah, that definitely is a good one to go for. That's certainly worth exploring and trying. That's for sure. So any other fragrances y'all want to mention or talk about today? I do appreciate y'all hanging out again with me. We've had a really good live today. It has been fantastic. I have to say, this has been a good live, and I liked how it turned out with the visuals with my new webcam, and I'll improve things even better in the future. Yes, and as a kid, I was a big fan of Captain Crunch, as y'all know, Captain Crunch. Army Matey, and it doesn't have too much of a pirate theme going on, but as a kid, I was a big fan of Castle in the Sky. Fantastic movie. It is animated, but some people, for some reason, don't like animated. I mean, they like American animated, but it is made by Hayao Miyazaki, who made Spirited Away. A little bit more of a animated in the Japanese sense of things, but it's still a great movie. Great for watching with kids too. Great lessons and great stories. I highly recommend y'all watch that. It's a little bit more carefree. It's a little bit more youthful. But maybe you could do that this weekend. If you've never watched Spirited Away, that one's nice. But I love Castle in the Sky. Lots of ladies because it's romantic, like Howl's Moving Castle. But Nausicaa, Castle in the Sky is great. And also, Princess Mononoke is great, but that one's more violent. I have to warn you about that. That one's violent. That one barely eked away with a PG-13 rating. They didn't want to make it full-blown. They didn't want to get it censored too much, but they definitely skirted the edge with that one. So, let's see. Anthony Concepcion says, what about YSL La Nuit L'Homme? Let's see here. One of my favorites fragrances ever since 2019. I know about YSL La Nuit de l'Homme. Yes, absolutely. It's great. I still think it's a good fragrance. Not everybody talks about it so much anymore because fragrances come and go. It was the talk of the town for almost an entire year. I don't know if it ever became as popular as Aventus, but Jeremy Fragrance hyped it up, and everybody talked about La Nuit de l'Homme, and everybody loved it, and everybody knew how much it worked. I also have a couple. We'll wrap this up. We're actually past 2 hours, so I do need to go. But La Nuit de l'Homme is still a great fragrance. I just don't talk about it too much anymore because it's been reformulated to death. It's actually gone through, I don't even know. Last time I looked, it went through 3 or 4 reformulations. It's a lot weaker than it used to be. And that kind of killed people's enthusiasm for the fragrance, which is sad, but it's another thing that was kind of messed up by reformulations. Like the original Givenchy Pie was kind of messed up by reformulation. Some fragrances are able to make flankers and hold on, like improve things quick enough, like Spice Bomb. They reformulated it and made it more mass appealing and likable. Again, when Victor and Rolf Spice Bomb first came out, it was more of a chili fragrance, and then they switched over to cardamom and cinnamon and more of that vanilla, and it was a lot more likable to more people. But sometimes when you just weaken the fragrance, and if you do it, after the fragrance is caught on popularity and everybody knows you kind of messed it up. Just like the new Dior Homme 2020, they made it. They completely reformulated the fragrance, and so I've seen some people out there actually enjoy the fragrance and talk about how good they think it is. But I don't think that fragrance is ever going to be able to recover Dior Homme 2020 with how dirty they did. Why not just release a new flanker of Dior Homme and call it something different? Instead, they completely reformulated the new Dior, reformulated it, or essentially just made a different fragrance and replaced it and called it, with the same name. And they're kind of tricking people too. It's kind of unethical. Anyways, Ben Concio says, "Have you tried Tenzio Terenzi's Orza? I don't think I've tried that one yet. It might be a bit proud. $490 is very pricey, but it does look good. Tenzio Terenzi's, they're good fragrances. They're not bad. I haven't explored all of them, but I have tried a couple of them. I think they have that new Marbella or Maribella. I really need to try that one. It looks like a good gourmand. I've been tempted and almost blind bought El Contrario a couple times. To me, Orchid is a risky note, so I'm not sure if I want to risk a blind buy on it. But Tiziano Terenzi's have some good creations. Honestly, I haven't found one that I'm truly in love with that I have to have in the collection yet. I did really like Ursa, and it's a good fragrance, but it's not something I found that I could wear very often. And I already had Gucci Guilty Absolute, so sadly had to let it go. Dior Homme Parfum 2016. Yeah, that's one of the ones. I don't know if it's been reformulated. I've heard that the Dior Homme Intense is still pretty good, but I don't know if the Parfum has been reformed or not. I would like to get a bottle of the Dior Homme Parfum, but it's very hard to get in the USA right now, and you have to pay about $200. It's a very good fragrance, but with $200, I can buy a niche fragrance or more. And Dior Homme, don't get me wrong, Dior Homme Parfum is good, but is it good? $200 good? I personally don't know. Ultra Super says, what would be the most you'd pay for a fragrance? I don't have the biggest budget in the world. I usually wait for an expensive fragrance to go on sale for about $150 odd, or I feel kind of comfortable if I think the fragrance is really good for around that 150. I usually don't go for anything more expensive than that. I have, price per mil. I've bought in some fragrances that were around 150, but they were smaller sizes, like 30 mils. So essentially, for 100 mils of it, it's like a 450, maybe a $500 fragrance, but it's in a 30 mil size. So I already have about 70 plus fragrances. And again, I've bought and sold. If I kept everything I've ever bought, I probably would be I'd be probably close to 200 plus, maybe a lot more fragrances. And I mean, I would have way too much, in my opinion, from my personal preferences. So, yeah, I personally, even if I had a lot of money, I couldn't imagine myself paying more than $350. Even if I had $1 million, I just can't imagine myself doing that. It's fragrances are good, and I know that there are fragrances with really rare ingredients who can even justify those prices. But like some people out there, really famous, really wealthy people, will hire perfumers to make fragrances with no bars, no bars limited. The most expensive fragrances you can imagine, with the highest quality ouds and ambergris and things like that, and they'll pay them a couple $1,000s to make themselves a special private fragrance that they'll never release to the market, and they'll never sell the recipe or let anybody else wear that fragrance. So that, I mean, people out there do all kinds of stuff, but for me personally, $350 is the most I could imagine paying for ever fragrance. There are natural fragrances again that are worth kind of justify it with their price, but I just can't do it. Now it's 100 mils instead of 75. Oh, okay, so they just essentially gave you the same fragrance, but they're giving you less of it. Well, at least it smells original. At least hopefully they didn't reformulate it. Do you know what the price is on that Dior Homme Parfum? Is it, how much are they charging for it? Is it like $150? Is it, if they want $200 for 75 mils and they're going to keep that price and they're not going to lower the price, I don't know how I'm going to feel about Dior Homme Parfum. It's still a great fragrance, and lots of people say lots of good things about it, but oh my goodness. Anyways, we have a lot of people creeping out and going away. We are past the 2-hour range, guys. We're well past the 2 hours. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being a friend. Thanks for being awesome people. Y'all are awesome. Y'all are incredible. So, my friends, I want to wish y'all a very happy weekend. Be safe out there. A seller on eBay was selling it 75 mils for 300. No, sir, not today. I'm not going to pay that. Maybe if the price comes down and the fragrances go in boutiques, if they want to charge me 150 for 75 mils, and if I have the money, I might be willing to pay it. Especially if you threw me in like a travel atomizer, like a gift set, or gave me a I don't know, something to make me feel better about the purchase. But I'm not going to pay some price gouge or whatever. $300. I heard fragrance still has the parfums. Yeah, France. I'm sure that they do. I'm sure that somebody out there has them, but we don't have them here, or it's very hard to get in the USA. Anyways, well, Ben, Ultra Supra, and everybody else, I want to say good night or good evening or maybe good morning to you wherever you live. Have a happy weekend. Cook some good food. Take it easy. Again, I will be coming back for y'all or to y'all with some new content. I still upload Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, so please come back. And of course, hit the notification. Again, I don't know how much likes help. I've seen some people say that likes don't help the content at all. But if you do want to support me doing likes, I don't know. Some people say it does help a lot. And I don't know if there's a difference in helping in the lives likes or lives just on regular channels. But thank you. I do thank y'all for your time, for your friendship. Hope that I've added some value to you. Hope that I've given you some friendship. Hope that I've shown a little bit of wisdom, a little bit of education. And again, y'all definitely get to give me some feedback. Ask questions, and that's what these lives are all about. So again, I go live about 6 p.m. every Saturday night, so for y'all to have that chance for us to talk about the fragrance news, talk about a little bit of a topic, and just hang out a little bit. And we'll have a lot of fun next Saturday, of course. It says peace. Yes, Anthony, have a beautiful weekend. Rich says, yeah, Army matey, walk the plank. Anyways, Ultra Super says, it was great to see you again, Ben. Have a great evening. Yes, have a beautiful weekend, my friends. Cook up something good. Hang out with friends or family. If you're being super safe, Skype them. At least get some kind of social contact in some kind of way. And I'll see you soon, everybody. Have a good one. I wish you the very best. Peace out and bye. And now I'm going to try to this edit button. Okay, so the edit button is just some info. It doesn't really change the webcam. Okay, so anyways, peace out, everybody. Happy weekend. Happy hippo.